Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you now to the next big D&D campaign on Twitch. It's Wayfarers. You know it. People have been talking about it in the shopping mall, in the bookstores. They're talking about what? Not Critical Role. That's last weekend's news. This is Wayfarers. We've got real characters just trying not to get arrested. And last week, Mendax did get arrested. So we're going to see how far our adventurers get this week. They're about to embark on a new journey. They spent the previous episode trying to figure out what's what in the town of Lakewoodshirevilleburg, whatever. And Call almost died. So that's not really a good sign. But we're going to see where their journeys take them. We are joined by Apoptosis 808, the Goblin King himself, who is our Dungeon Master. We've got Cockeyed Gaming's Ash, who is Mendax, the Tiefling Rogue. And we've got the up-and-coming human wizard, Nigel, who is Exile 5 Pig. Cobra Venom is on production. I'm Jimothy, and I hope you enjoy our episode of Wayfarers today.
Thank you, Jimothy.
Thank you, Jimothy. Stubble Bubble. Man, I wonder if Jimothy were to play D&D with us, what character he would play. I almost want to make that like a reality one day. Just to see. Maybe Neuro is sick one week, Jimothy. And just sub for Call. See how he'd play Call. Not that I ever want Neuro to be sick, of course. Alright. So yes.
Ouch.
Last week. You okay over there?
I just hit my beaks very first thing. Okay, I'm good.
Okay. It's very tough being a bird person.
I haven't figured out the proprioception of this very large thing. It'll take a while.
Oh, good God. All right. Where did we leave off last week? Who remembers? Anybody want to do a small recap, large recap? What happened?
I believe there was a bit of animosity. You know, we got into a bit of a fight with a couple of barn owls. At the end of which I have the ingredients to identify some magical items we'd picked up a couple of episodes ago. I've got a few kind of things like a cloak and whatnot. We basically spent a week hanging out in Lake Town. Chilling out, you know, got drunk for the first time. A few of us got wasted. The two less intelligent party members decided to go all the way back to the dungeon and almost get killed by undead that were feasting on the corpses. So I think Nigel maintains his cap as the smartest status. And most survival oriented of the three.
Are you saying that you have the highest intellect and the second lowest wisdom?
That is basically what happened. Absolutely. So you guys spent the week in Lakewood in order to get Call's halberd sharpened.
Oh, and it is very sharp. Hopefully. I didn't get it yet. Did I get it?
It is quite... No, you didn't get it yet, so you're going to have to head back there. We'll do that before you guys head off on your way. Nigel was able to get the material components he needed by inadvertently stealing a ring from a gnome, and it was his wife's ring, and she's since passed away, so he's real broken up about it, but it's okay because Nigel can cast spells now. And you had a fight with some barn owls, and then Mendax went off on an adventure, sort of Scooby-Doo style, to go figure out what was in the room in the cave that you guys just recently cleared out, but was scared away by undead. And then Call tried to kill those undead. He failed. Everyone ran back. And now you guys have kind of, you still don't know what's in that room. Boy, I can't wait to reveal what is in that room one day, you know? If only somebody was able to really open that door all the way.
Maybe we should go back.
I think we should definitely go back.
Maybe you should. Hey, I don't know. It's up to you guys. You can do whatever you want.
Wayfarers is the Groundhog Day of Dungeons and Dragons campaigns.
Yeah, let's just do the same. Let's just do the same thing again. One more week in Lakewood. Let's go. So yes, we left off, and then we kind of completed that week of rest. And Nigel, I said that you finished up identifying those magic items. We held off on telling you guys exactly what it was, so we'll do that here in a bit. And Call, you are able to go back to the blacksmith to get your halberd. So I guess that's probably where we'll start, unless anybody has anything they will have any questions about or something they want to check on. Do we want to do the identified magic items first? Ooh, nah. Or do we want to do the sharp weapon?
I don't think the sharp weapon would take too long. We have waited a week for it after all.
Yes, you have. It's this very special materials needed to hone this blade and edge even further than it's already been crafted to. So you want to go head over to Rongal and get your weapon back?
Yes! I was in quite a tough spot against 3 ghouls with no weapon.
I mean, you fended them off pretty efficiently, I gotta say, with that holy symbol that you had.
It was the most righteous defense, wasn't it?
It was pretty righteous indeed, yes.
Good.
A religion pun. It's perfect. I'm glad that's where we're starting today. Great. So yeah, it's been about a week now, and it's the mid-morning on a week from when you last spoke with Rongal. You wake up, you're at the manor, and we'll say you head over to the blacksmith. You're gonna head over to Rongal the blacksmith and get your weapon back. So you head in, and you can see Rongal has got your halberd. He's sitting in that sort of front area where he does all of his smithing, and he's not grinding or anything like that. He's just polishing it. He has this really nice sort of silk cloth, and he's spreading this grease on the end of the blade, almost to like keep it protected against rust and things like that. Some sort of oil care, essentially, for the weapon. And he sees you come in, and he nods his head and he smiles at you. He says, "Ah, Cole, it's great to see you. I thought you'd be back today. You're very prompt. Here you go. Here's the blade." And he'll put the rag in his pocket, and he'll hand the halberd back over to you.
Oh my goodness, that blade shines so brightly it's hurting my eyes. Do you have any shades? Thank you very much for your work. It is very clear that you are most skilled in the ways of the blacksmithing. And I can see why this town was in such a ruckus at your absence. Your work is most appreciated.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I needed some way to repay you for saving my life. And this is but a small token of my appreciation. I wish I could do more for you, but hopefully this blade will serve you well in battle over the next few weeks while it keeps that edge. I took great care in making sure that it would stay sharp for as long as possible. But it is only a temporary benefit, mind you. It will need to be sharpened again to reach that state of precision in the future.
But of course...
AKA, it's not permanent. It'll eventually go away.
Does it have any stats or buffs to it now? Any damage bonuses, perhaps?
Well, it's real sharp. And if you're going to be, stabbing and sticking and slicing, it'll do that real good. And we'll say in our D&D terms, it'll do +1 damage for the next. Perfect. For the next, until I tell you it's not doing +1 damage anymore, we'll say.
Good. Thank you very much,
so
sir. Wait, a question quickly. Mr. Good Blacksmith, you are a dwarf, yes?
Aye.
And we are going to the dwarven home, yes?
That is correct.
Do you have any recommendations for the fine dwarven foods that are there?
He'll sit down for a moment and he'll sort of stroke his beard.
Fine dwarven foods. Well, I'll tell you one thing, Carl. We're not really known for our dishes and food per se, but we've got the finest stone ale in all the land. Knock you straight on your ass just from sniffing it.
Oh, I'm sorry, sir. We don't need any help with that. We were on our ass for 4 days. From ale.
Well, then, yeah, I recommend you don't get within a few yards of this brew. It's pretty gnarly.
I'll be sure to pass along the word to Nigel.
Give them my best. Great to see them.
I will. Thank you very
Anything
much,
else
sir,
I
for
can
your
do
help.
for you?
I don't believe so. Have an excellent rest of your day.
Take care, Cole. Make sure to come back again soon.
Remember, eat the stonefish raw. It's delicious. Goodbye now.
And he's gonna ponder that last part and like look like he's gonna ask you about it, but just kind of he's a fucking weird bird. I'll just let him do what he's gonna do. Yeah, so you have this shiny and sharp halberd now that's been treated through all these different processes that only only the dwarven blacksmiths know, and has been able to eke out even more cutting power out of this out of the edge of the halberd here. So if you want to test it, you can kind of take a blade of grass, and it seems like even before the blade of grass touches the end of the halberd blade, it seems to slice almost to the point where it doesn't even look like it's contacting the blade itself. So it's pretty efficient. It's pretty good.
Oh my goodness. I would like to take 1 minute to admire it. And then proceed with my quest.
It's very admirable. It looks awesome. And you're quite excited to slice things, and you make a mental note to be very careful.
This is a superb blade. I pity the fools who are struck with it.
Yes, you do. Great. So yeah, so you got your blade back. You're back and equipped. Make sure you make a note that it's doing +1 damage somewhere. I think you can add a note to that equipment if you need to. So just make sure you know that. Nigel, let's head over to you. We'll say that you finished spending last night identifying the items that you have. Your identification spell takes a little bit longer, I believe. Let me see exactly. I don't know how long it takes per usage. Do you happen to know how long it takes every time you cast that spell?
I don't think it actually takes all that long. Let me just double check that one.
It's a ritual. I do know that.
Yeah. So
looks like just 1 minute, actually.
Just 1 minute, yeah.
Okay, so it doesn't take too long, but it is a ritual casting, so you do have to kind of get your material components ready and available, and you didn't want to use every spell slot for every day, so you kind of spaced them out. You took a few days to identify all those items. So yeah, so you know what they all are. So you had remind me of the items I told you to write down. What were the ones that I gave you guys?
So we have a mystery cloak, a mystery necklace. And we do have mystery ore as well. However, I'm not sure if I was identifying that because I don't think I'll be able to since it's so mysterious. But we did have rings, each of us, that got locked onto our fingers. So I'm not sure. Am I able to identify the ore, or probably not? Probably the ring.
I will say that through the days that have gone by, you can try to you can try to identify all those things. It doesn't necessarily mean it's going to give you any useful information, but you can definitely try to do each of those things. And you say you're going to cast identify on the ring as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we'll kind of just hit those, I think, one at a time. I had in my notes that you guys got one other item, which was like a small circular kind of gem. So I think maybe that just didn't get written down, or maybe
awesome.
That didn't. Yeah, something.
I'll add that to the inventory now. Maybe I thought someone else was picking that one up.
Yeah, no worries, no worries. So we'll just make sure we get through all those. Okay, so let's start with the things that you know what they are for sure. So the cloak. All of these items, they're pretty basic. You've heard of them before. These are some basic enchantments. You just needed to cast Identify to make sure. The cloak is what is called a cloak of protection. Okay, so anybody who wears this item will get, in D&D terms, so we're not kind of doing the in-game lore of it right now. In mechanics terms, they get a +1 bonus to their AC. So anybody who wears it, their armor class goes up by 1. You become harder to hit. This cloak sort of bolsters almost like a shield around you in a way, and makes it so that you're either more difficult to hit, or the times that you are struck just deflect off of this seemingly
sort of impervious cloak that you now have. So you can replace the mysterious cloak with the cloak of protection. The necklace. The necklace is another item that you've heard of all of these items before in your studies. You're definitely not new to magic items. It is what is called a periapt of wound closure. So I'm going to just read exactly what this is here. So while you wear this pendant, you stabilize whenever you are dying at the start of your turn. In addition, when you roll a hit die to regain hit points, double the number of hit points it restores. And you can also use 1 hit die a day outside of a short rest. Okay, so that's kind of a lot of stuff. For the most part, what you want to know for that is you have what are called hit die. You have a pool of them that you can use every day when you take a short rest to heal yourself. This is everybody, not just you, Nigel. This is Call, this is Mendax, this is you. Usually you have to take a short rest to use them, and it'll kind of restore you for as many dice as you want to use up. This will let you gain double the amount of hit points whenever you use a hit die, and you can use 1 hit die out of a short rest. So you can, whenever you want to, you activate this item once a day, and you can just kind of get a burst of healing all of a sudden.
Does that apply to any other healing form or just short rest?
Just the short rest and just when you're using hit die. So if you use like a health potion, this is not going to affect that. That's a great question. Yeah, so just when you use a hit die. And also if you're dying, so if you've been knocked unconscious, you'll stabilize if you have this on immediately. Instead of having to roll to possibly stabilize and become conscious again, you immediately stabilize. So that's really good. Very good stuff. And so I know that was a lot of information. Let me know if you need me to kind of go over that again for you.
It's all recorded in my inventory in detail.
Fantastic.
I spent many years with the quill.
The notes are super important. The last thing that you have is what is called a gem of power. This type of magic item can take shape in many different types of objects, basically anything that's been enchanted to have this power sort of keyword, if you will. You can use an action and speak a specific command, whatever you want it to be. You kind of set it, and you can regain 1 expended spell slot that's 4th level or lower. Okay, so basically, if you've used up, all your spell slots for level 1, 2, 3, or 4, you can use this item, and instead of needing to rest to regain your spell slots, you can kind of one-time charge a day and regain one of those spell slots that you've lost.
All right, but it is capped at once a day. Unfortunately, not ridiculously overpowered, right?
Oh, yeah. No. Unfortunately, not ridiculously
got a little excited until you added that.
Exactly. Oh, yeah, it's not all the time. Once a day. You'll get some crazy magic items later on. Don't you worry. Don't you worry about it. So yes, you have all 3 of those magic items. I don't think, let's see. Okay, so all 3 of them require what is called attunement. So what that means is you have to take a long rest and focus on essentially, I don't know what the best word for it is, kind of binding yourself to this item in order for you to use it. So currently, Nigel, I'll let you pick if you want to be attuned to one of these or all 3 of these. You can be attuned to them right now. The only thing that you have to do if you're going to, for instance, give one of them to Call or give one of them to Mendax or whatever you're going to do with it, is they have to spend a long rest and sort of focus on becoming attuned to this item so that they can use it. And that's it. That's all it takes. So I will let you do with those items as you will.
Well, the Gem of Power will definitely go with the most powerful of the group, myself. And I'll share the others amongst them, I guess. I guess might as well just divvy it up right now. I imagine we're kind of doing it here throughout the town. So I'm going to give the wound closure, the periapt of wound closure to Carl, our most reckless. And
so that I can be even more reckless.
Actually, no, yeah, that makes perfect sense. And the cloak can go to Mendax.
Very nice. So you guys can go ahead and add that to your inventory. Maybe, maybe Pig can be nice and share his notes with you so you have an idea of what it does. But Mendax will say that the cloak itself is a sort of dark green. It almost looks like it's kind of has like the end of it is black and kind of burnt at the bottom, which takes away from how attractive this cloak is because it had this really nice gold embroidery that goes along the edges of it. But at the bottom, it looks like it almost got set on fire somehow. But yeah, so you can have that. The wound closure it's a necklace itself. Basically, what that looks like, Call, is it is a simple kind of silver chain that goes around your neck, and at the end of it is like a red vial. And when you have a charge available, it looks like red liquid that's inside, but when you activate it and use it, it's empty. And once it refills, that red liquid seems to magically kind of appear again. And then the Gem of Power, Nigel, for you, it's a simple sort of like ruby looking gem. It's not really put onto a chain or set into a necklace or a ring. That is something that you could do later on. If you want to take time and maybe inscribe it. I don't know if you'd have the ability to put it into the wand necessarily, but you could have somebody kind of embed it in a piece of clothing or a jewelry piece as you want to. You might not be able to do that here in this town, but later on if you want. You can just keep it in your pocket for now, though.
Awesome. Magic rock in the pocket, ready for a recharge.
Magic pocket rock. Perfect. And then I'd say the last kind of piece of business here, Call, we kind of, last time you were working with the alchemist for a few days to try to understand that recipe for that fire-breathing potion. And I said that you were able to create one. So I don't know if I ever told you exactly what that did. Did I tell you what that did?
It allows you to breathe fire in a frontal cone and annihilate all of your enemies, no matter what.
Yep, essentially. If you want to know the exact specifics of it, it basically fires off. You drink it, obviously, and then you instantly sort of almost vomit forth this crazy pillar of fire that extends 30 feet in a cone in front of you. So it's a huge cone. So definitely be careful. Exactly. Definitely be careful that none of your friends are in it, because on a DC 13 saving throw, so any creature that you hit, they have a chance to take half damage. You do 4d6 fire damage. But it's a one-time use. You drink the potion, it's a one-time go. It's not like charges or anything like that. You'll have to create or buy or something to get another one.
Mm.
So there you go. So just, I would write down in notes or whatever for you there. And I think that's pretty much the only business that you guys had in Lakewood. If I recall correctly, Nigel has the missive to head to the Dwarven Kingdom of Tol Karabad, where you are going to try and seek an audience with the legendary creature or person, kind of left up to an ambiguous end, known as the Rock Eater. Oh, no, wait. Nigel said that he wanted to identify the ring and the mysterious ore. But
yes.
Yes. Okay, so let's do that real quick before you guys head off. Everyone else, I would think about if there's anything you want to do, last minute things in Lakewood before you set off to whatever you're about to go and do. Now would be a good time to think about that. Nigel, when you identify the ore, you are met with a huge amount of resistance. You're unable to... What's the best way to describe this? You can tell that the ore is definitely enchanted. Okay, there is definitely magic that is being used in this ore, but it is not necessarily a magic spell. It's almost as if the ore or something about it has just been infused with a magical property. It's not that a spell has been cast on it or somebody has done a ritual to enchant it with something like a magic item, like your guys' cloaks and all that stuff. but the ore itself sort of exudes this. I don't want to give away too much here because I don't think you'd be able to discern everything about it, but you can tell this. The magic that's cast on this ore, or rather the magic that is in this ore, feels, for one, very, very old, and two, it is extremely unfamiliar to you. You've never felt magic like this before. It doesn't seem to fit in to any school of magic that you've experienced quite right. And
yeah,
when you do that same identify to the rings that you are all wearing, you get the exact same feeling. So you're getting, you can definitely tell that the ore plus the ring, they are definitely made one and the same. It looks like maybe when the ore is fashioned into the ring, though, it somehow takes shape and uses those properties. At this time, you're not able to discern what that is.
All right. Some mysterious rings that have locked themselves onto our fingers. Gotta go find a rock.
The rock! That's right. You're going to go see Dwayne.
Before we jet from town, I am going to be overridden by a little bit of guilt, and I am going to visit the alchemist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, you can go to the alchemist. He is, when you enter the store, you get the same greeting that you did last week. Welcome. Yes, please come in. It looks like he's basically back to his chipper self. Maybe he had a nice encounter with a nice bird person throughout the week that kind of put him back in a good state of mind. And he's just kind of going all around the shop and cleaning things and straightening things from his tasks and chores that he neglected last week. What can I do for you?
I heard you missed, you lost a very valuable possession, and I happen to have found something that matches the description. I'll pull it out and present it. Is this yours by any chance?
He'll drop sort of the dustpan and broom that he has in his hand. Oh my God! What? Where? How? And he'll move up to you, sort of trembling. His hands are shaking, and he looks ecstatic and excited, and he can hardly contain himself. He takes the ring from you, and he starts jumping up and down. Oh my God! Yes, this is it. Where did you find this? My goodness, I thought I'd never see this again. And he looks at the inscription at the bottom and confirms that it is his. And he starts kind of tearing up and crying a little bit. You can tell that this ring definitely meant quite a bit to him. Oh my gosh, thank you so much. Thank you. And he'll like tug at your pants, and he'll like he's crying quite a bit now, and kind of snot is starting to come out of his nose, and he'll just bury his face in your pants. I'm so happy that you brought this back to me. Thank you so much.
Well, collect yourself there. I do bring some bad tidings with the good. You asked where I found this ring. Well, you might not believe it, but you have a pack of evil owls infesting the barn down in the farm. And one of them dropped this when I was in there trying to get rid of their foul presence, but their power is too strong for me to deal with, and they will continue to cause mischief in your town until you evict them from the premises and find a way to be gone of them for good.
Green Fingers owls? I told him to get rid of those foul creatures. You can never trust owls. Mark my words. They will never see another dawn.
And he'll run out of the shop.
Did I overhear this?
No, I don't think so. Unless you were going with him.
Good, because I would be upset.
No, I don't think you were with him.
They pecked the shit out of me, and I know you'd be upset, and I feel absolutely no remorse.
How would you feel if someone was pulling your hairs out to use for spells without asking? You would peck them too. No
Just a
respect for
single
birds.
feather. Nothing to be worried about. Stupid animals.
Yeah, so he's he's left you in his store. Which is he didn't lock and he didn't close, and he's gone. He booked.
Ash is muted.
Take the fucking health potions. Do it.
I don't know if you know there were health potions there. I mean, it's an alchemist. You might be able to put 2 and 2 together, but yeah, I mean, he left, so you can do whatever you want. What are you gonna do? You're in this shop by yourself.
He's so innocent and good-natured, and has just given back the ring. So, what's most visible for me to see? Because I'm not devious enough that I wouldn't be going into any storerooms. But if there's something close to hand, maybe I might.
You might be tempted. Okay. So if I remember right, he had the healing potions were in a kind of a special box that was locked up, and he kept it underneath the counter, essentially. Besides that, you'll not really, to you, it doesn't really mean much. It's all just different herbs, different potted plants, dried spices.
What's the shiniest potion? I'm basically just going to look at the shelves and look for the shiniest looking, kind of most fancy looking liquid. And if there's something that looks particularly, or I sense a magical aura around something, then I might consider grabbing that, but I'm not going to be stocking up by any means.
Okay, you know what? I will leave this one up to chance. Roll me just a straight D20. I just want to see what you get. We'll see what's over there.
We got ourselves a 2.
There is not anything that looks even remotely valuable to you in this place besides tattered herbs and dried spices. Unless you're going to start rooting around and stealing stuff.
It was guilt that brought me here, a guilty conscience, and feeling a little bit more like a hero every day. I'm going to straighten my robes and walk out, my head held high.
Fantastic. All right, yeah, you do so. Yeah, and you don't see any sign of the gnome. So, yeah, that's a good job. Wow, you get some good karma for that. Nigel is feeling very, very much the hero, doing the good deeds, helping his party, but also saving the.
And very pointedly not telling his party about this one.
Okay, I like it. I like it. Very good. Okay, yeah, sure. So, I mean, you're welcome to do whatever you'd like to. So, is that going to be the end of your dealings with the alchemist, or do you have some unfinished business with him? Or
no, I mean, I've got some bag of spices I wanted to sell somewhere. I guess, was there a general goods store? I'm trying to remember.
The best kind of general goods store would be like the inn.
Just go, yeah, I'll go to the inn and see what they'll buy the spices for.
Okay. Okay,
sure. Sell those.
Yeah, the innkeeper sees you walk in. This is now several days after your guys' escapades, I believe is the right word. And getting drunk and kind of making a mess of things. He'll be seemingly cleaning the same exact glass that it always seems he's cleaning whenever someone walks in. And he'll look at you and kind of chuckle to himself for a second, and then kind of shake his head and just go back to cleaning the glass. Are you gonna walk up to him and try to sell him stuff?
Yep. Hello. Thank you, good sir, for the 7 pitchers of water that you brought to my room the other night. I appreciate it.
Right. Well, need to make sure the patrons are taken care of. Can't have you dine on me. Not in my inn, anyways.
Thought I might die at a few moments there. But I do come on business. Small talk aside, I have a bag here of rather rare spices. I was wondering if you're interested in purchasing it.
Spices? Let me take a look at that. And he'll take the bag from you. and he'll look inside of it, and he'll kind of root around, and he'll grab a pinch of whatever it is in his finger, and he'll smell it a little bit, and he'll go, "Boy, are you trying to sell me drugs?"
I did find these, to be honest, in the lair.
You found
your
okay,
blacksmith was found. I thought these were for cooking. It smelt a little bit like a dish, a chicken dish that we used to eat back in the tower. Are you telling me these are hallucinogenic herbs?
Well, and he'll kind of look to the right and to the left, and he'll lean in real close to you. Not for nothing, but yeah, these are some dried up, looks like a couple of different types of funguses, if my eyes serve me correctly. It's been a bit of a few years since I've even come across this type of stash. Now, and he'll put it on the table and kind of slide the bag back to you. I'm just gonna pretend I didn't see this. Being as you did such a good deed for our town and everything, and of course, you know, you found them off of the bandits. I got you. Don't worry.
Thank you.
But don't worry. I'm not gonna say anything. But I don't have any reason to buy these here. I don't know anyone in town that is going to be interested in something like this.
I'll dispose of these then. Thank you.
Yeah, you can go dispose of whatever you want, my man.
I'm going to very awkwardly walk out of the inn.
Okay. Well, that was awesome. Yeah, so you have a bag of hallucinogenic dried up mushrooms and like other types of weird herbs. Who knows exactly what those are all used for, and maybe you could cook a dish out of them.
Might be brownie time at some point. Maybe I'll need to find my spirit link or something. We'll see. I'm going to hang on to them. I'm not actually going to dispose of them. I'm going to keep them in a deep pocket within my robes.
You could always give them to Carl just to test.
Oh man! All right, so you've identified the bag of magic mushrooms. We'll just shorthand call it that. And you've given the ring back to the gnome. Anything else you want to try to do?
I am good to continue on our quest.
Alrighty, Mendax, anything you needed to do?
Well, I think they both still think I'm dead. But I don't know that. So
we'll say by this point you guys have run into each other by now. It's been several days since all of those events transpired, so I think if you would like to role play out the re-meeting of Mendax and realizing she's not dead, you are more than welcome to do that.
that's fine.
But that was about 4 days ago that happened at this point, so.
Mendax! Mendax!
Carl!
Is it you?
Yes?
What happened? I went to follow you to the cave. You gave that nice note at the bottom of the table. So I took a boat, and I went across, and there were a bunch of ghouls. I assumed you were murdered.
Oh my... No, I had no idea you'd actually follow me. I thought you'd be passed out for the better part of a day. No, I saw the ghouls, found some wolves, and I skipped out of there very quickly, and then somehow wound up in a boat that unfortunately sank.
Oh, it seems your luck was as bad as mine.
I mean, I managed to swim to shore, so... But you're okay. I can't believe you made it away from those ghouls. There were 3 ghouls.
Oh, yes, they bit me multiple times.
How are you still standing?
Who the hell do you think I am? Some tiny bird? I'm Carl, for Pete's sake.
That's a good point. You are a thick-ass bird.
It's true. Well, I'm glad you're in one piece. And I've just had my halberd sharpened. It's very sharp now.
Excellent.
Don't touch
it. Oh,
Don't.
No,
Nope.
But I want
Don't.
it shiny.
No. Don't touch it. It's too sharp. I already cut myself on accident.
Okay, fine.
Have you seen Nigel?
I've not seen Nigel.
He got fucked up really bad.
It's so adorable. It's so adorable. We should do that more often.
Well, you had the least bad headache of the three of us. Easy for you to
well,
say.
You know, I don't think it would have been half as bad if I had not had that raw stonefish, but unfortunately, in the circus and the theater, a good 80% of our diet is made up of ale, so I've had lots of practice.
Ah, the rumors are true then.
Oh, absolutely.
Did you want to carry on together, you know, as a squadron or whatever?
Yes, absolutely. I think that would be wonderful. You don't by any chance have any more of the raw stonefish on you?
Oh. Actually, no, because I gave the last one to the ghouls.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
I forgot you did that. That's
They
right.
enjoyed it very much. They said thank you in their own, like, kind of way.
Okay, well then I guess I can't sew it up in the mattress of my room at the mayor's house.
No, but we could get another one.
Oh my god.
I'm afraid that the fishmonger probably doesn't want to see me at the moment. He very unfairly made me pay for his sunken boat. Just incredibly racist, that man.
It's so terrible how they discriminate against tieflings, isn't it?
Isn't it, though?
Yes.
Isn't it? I suppose we should probably carry on. I'll just have to, I don't know, spiritually send a rotting fish to the mayor.
Well, we could rendezvous with Nigel. I believe he's up to his wizardly things. And we still have these, we still have this ring. I can't get it off my finger. I should have asked one of the ghouls to just bite it off.
It's such a nice, pretty shade of purple, though. I'm grown quite fond.
Purple's not really my color.
Oh, really? I think it looks excellent on you.
Oh, really? Thank you.
Definitely the cool tones.
No, maybe it is my color.
We'll say that you guys find Nigel as he's walking out of the inn. He's kind of flushed, a little bit red. Maybe he's embarrassed. Maybe he's been drinking a little bit. Who knows? But yeah, we'll say he has the spices, quote unquote, you put away in your pocket, Nigel, and you run into Mendax and Call.
Nigel! Nigel!
Nigel!
It's good to see you.
Hey guys.
There he is. I almost didn't recognize you standing up straight.
Huh. Well, you know, some days you feel better than others. At least I didn't have a tower of ale tankards on me. Right, Carl?
Yes, it was quite the night. We should do it again. Mendax and I were just talking about how thrilling an experience that was and how many lessons we truly learned from one night of drinking.
Oh, absolutely. So much learned. So much learned. On and off note, though, Nigel, I think I remember showing you a bit of a bauble that I may have acquired, and I believe you kept it. It's a bit foggy to me.
Did you just say bauble?
I did say bauble.
Okay, just clarifying.
Yes, I believe it was a pearl. In fact, I have both good and bad news. The good is that I was able to actually use the valuable pearl set into it to identify these magical items. And so, Mendax, this here is actually a cloak of protection, which will help you withstand the vicious onslaught of your attackers. You may have that. It's not much use to me as a wizard.
Is it nice and fitted? Let me... Actually, yes, okay. Excellent seams. This is a very fine cloak. Thank you, Nigel.
And the necklace as well. I was able to identify its magical properties. It is actually a periapt of wound closure that will help you survive many different situations that you seem to constantly dive into head first, Carl. So this hopefully will help you at least stay alive, if not completely healthy.
Oh, this is lovely. What is this, a nice silver chain with a little bit of a red vial with something in it? This looks like a potion. This is a high gift. and I will never forget this. Thank you, Nigel.
No worries. In the bad news, it did unfortunately consume the pearl ring to make the spell work, to reveal these magical properties. And I myself, I actually also got myself this rock of power, which will allow me to boost my magical abilities each day. But unfortunately, the pearl was lost in this process. So, you know.
Nigel, roll a deception check with advantage because Mendak said that she was foggy from that day. So with advantage. So roll 2d20, take the highest one, and add your deception skill, which is +2.
Deception is +2, is it? Let me. Yes, it is. 14 + 2, so we've got ourselves a 16.
Okay, Mendax, roll an insight check. Yours is a plus. Not sure exactly what your plus is.
+1.
+1. What did you roll?
An 8.
Okay, yeah, you think you believe him. So you're bummed. Ah, damn, your ring is broken. But what are you gonna do? You got these cool magic items.
Oh shit. Well, you know, a ring for a cloak, that works.
Hey,
not too
fair
bad.
enough.
Got ourselves some magical equipment for the road ahead. Speaking of which, do either of you know how we're going to get to Tol Karabad, or are we simply going to follow the road south?
Well, given as the Kenku had their flight taken from them eons ago, I cannot fly, nor could I fly and carry you because I cannot fly. So, walking is usually my preferred mode of transportation, unless I'm being beset by ghouls, in which case I might choose to run.
I am really sorry about that, Carl. I did not expect you to follow me. But we should go back there sometime.
Oh yes,
Definitely.
I agree. Post haste. It was so fun last time.
How long can ghouls really feast on corpses? Eventually they're going to be gone and they'll have to move out, right?
Oh, that's true.
Though a handy cave, a moist area like that, especially if the waterways and the currents happen to bring the bodies of other animals that are caught in them, you never know. Sometimes local creatures, wights, ghouls, ghasts, will actually be known to take up residence in a cave like that. And remember, there was not just the corpses of those brigands we slayed, there was also a large room filled with sheep's carcasses. And, you know, whilst it was disgusting for us to smell, I think the more rotten the meat, the more it's going to sustain the wights. So it could at least be several weeks, maybe even a few months until those wights move on.
This is why it's important for Nigel to be with us when we go back. He knows, Nigel, you just know, it's imperative that you're with us. You know so much about these things.
Yes, I've read many books, but yeah, I also am, you know, quite wise. If I didn't have my wand, for instance, I probably wouldn't go into one of these caves on my own and get bitten, but not all of us can be gifted with such insight.
Find that funny coming from the guy who was so fucked up he was stuck in bed the whole day after just having a couple drinks. Counted among the wise. You're funny, Nigel. You're very smart, but I don't know if I would count you among the wise.
This was my first time drinking. One can only grow stronger with experience.
That's true. That is actually the least wise place to be, and now you're in the second least wise place. Good job.
That's better.
Progress.
All right, let's just go, guys.
Shall we be off then? We need to get these purple rings off our fingers.
Oh, I do quite like mine. But yes, I don't want it on all the time.
Have you noticed anything funny with him? Any differences in your digestion or mood or appetite?
Not so much. I think...
Yeah, no, you guys have not. Nothing has been strange about these rings other than the fact that you cannot take them off, and Nigel, that you cannot identify them and what you learned when you tried to.
Yes, so I did try to identify the rings as well as the magical ore while I was identifying these magical items. I felt a very strange and unfamiliar magic imbuing them. I'm not familiar with it. I'm not sure exactly where it came from, what school of magic or even plane of existence it comes from, but it is something very old and very powerful. Hopefully, the Rock Eater can answer our questions with more. What I do know is it is the same sort of magic from this ore that is imbued in the rings, which we already knew from the blacksmith, obviously, that the rings are made of the same metal. If we can find out more about it, perhaps we can find out more about the enchantment that locks them to our fingers.
Solid. And your current only lead is to head to the town of, or the kingdom rather, of the dwarves, aptly named Tol Karabad. From asking around, we'll say that you guys know it is a about a 2-week journey by foot. And we'll say that you guys know that there's actually not really any horses for you to purchase or rent from the town. So unless you're going to delay that and go somewhere else, it'd be about 2 weeks of traveling in order to get there. From essentially doing the town such a huge favor, they'll supply you with enough rations that you need to make that journey. It's not too intense if you're not trying to eat like kings, and you guys don't have much to carry. So you feel confident that you can journey and make that distance with relative ease. It is dangerous to travel, especially by foot, but you know, a band of you three that has proven so capable already. What could go wrong?
We're off to Tol Karabad, the wonderful dwarven city of old. Let's go, everyone. We've got plenty of snacks, our spirits are high, our weapons are sharp, and we have new magical items. Who knows what we could run into? I personally am very well rested and ready to kick ass.
Perfect. All right, so we will say that you guys, it was still early in the day when you got all of that done. Do you want to leave on the same day or wait one more?
I'm happy to jet.
No, fuck this town.
All right.
This town has been so unfair to you this whole time, Mendex. I'm sorry.
It truly has. It truly has.
Absolutely. You guys, this town has really been so mean to you, Mendax.
This unfair.
My poor villagers, man. What have I done to them?
I was very nice to the innkeep.
Yes, you are actually. You were quite nice to the innkeeper. That is true. Everyone else, not so much, but the innkeeper, yes. And you made a couple friends here, so there's that.
Yes, exactly. 3 out of a village isn't bad. Could be worse.
3 out of, like, what is it? What did I say? Like 100 or something like that?
No,
Yeah,
for the blacksmith.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that's right. The blacksmith is your friend, too.
Only the most important person counts for more.
That's true. That is very true. He is the most important as well, so. Okay, you guys set off on your journey. The way that we'll go ahead and take care of traveling, we won't necessarily role play out every single day. For the most part, we will go ahead and take care of, and we might change it up in the future how we do travel, but for now, each of you on each day is going to go ahead and give me a d20 roll, and we'll see if anything interesting happens for that day. So, Neuro, can you give me day 1? Can you roll me a d20 to see if anything cool happens?
Only the coolest things happen around Carl, the Kinku. A 5 level cool.
A 5.
Yes.
Let's see. On a 5, what do I have here ready for you guys? No, you guys are still close to the town of Lakewood. Not really meeting any sort of resistance quite yet. You are safe on a 5. Go ahead and give me a d20 roll for the night of the first day that you guys travel.
Okay. A natural 1.
Oh, a natural 1.
Unfortunately.
All right. So during the first night, you guys go ahead. This is a fairly common practice when you when you're traveling any sort of distance, especially if you're with a company of people, you want to sort of do watches, like shifts, essentially throughout the night to make sure that you're all safe. Can you each give me a d20 roll? I want to see on whose shift this happens.
8.
Okay.
16.
Natural 20.
Natural 20. All right. So, Nigel, you take the second shift of the night. It's very cold. It is extremely dark, though it's a new moon and there's a lot of clouds in the sky. So the only thing that's really giving you any sort of light is the very dim campfire that you guys have lit. Give me a perception check.
I have a perception is +2, so 21.
21, absolutely. You do kind of start to doze off every now and again. You're not necessarily used to having to stay awake at weird times of the night, adjusting your sleep schedule to that. You're used to being able to sleep in the tower whenever you really wanted to, and able to wake up whenever you wanted, basically, within certain means. You do notice, however, you feel a creeping sense of unease in the darkness. And there are, when you start to look close and you put the fire to your back so that it's not ruining your vision, you can see kind of yellow dots that are maybe 5 to 10 feet off into the tree line.
Guys, wake. I'm going to kick whoever's closest to me. Gently.
I guess it's Call.
The hell? Did you just kick
wake
me?
What are those yellow things?
Those are dots off in the distance. What do you want? I was resting.
They look a lot closer than the distance, and I sense something, but...
Can I perceive them with my dark vision?
Yes, you do have dark vision. You notice... How many do we have here? You notice 2 sets of shapes that are about 10 feet into the tree line of the woods that you guys are still in. Lakewood, you're still in, sort of, if you look at the continent map, that province of Lakewood that still has kind of these thick forests. So yeah, about 10 feet into the woods, you can see 2 shapes that are very still, but you can tell they're not bushes, they're not trees. They're shifting ever so slightly, and sometimes when the light catches just at the right angle, you can notice sort of a yellow reflection. There's multiple dots on each of those shapes that are pretty low to the ground. About, from your count, anywhere from 4 to 6 dots at a time that you can see.
If I had to take a wild guess, based on the number of shapes and the number of eyes, I would say those are definitely not wolves. Or bears. Probably not owls either. If I had to guess, maybe a spider or several. Do you like spiders?
Not particularly, though I'm not unfamiliar with them.
They're very crunchy if you just bite into the legs of them.
I would be more disgusted if I wasn't quite worried about our circumstances right now. I'm going to cast a minor illusion.
Okay.
So with that, I believe I can create light, right?
Yeah, I think you should be able to do that. Let me see here.
So...
Minor illusion. You can create a sound or an image of an object within range. Let's see. No, the image that you create actually can't create sound, light, or smell. There is a specific spell, I believe, that wizards can get that is specifically for light.
Yeah.
But you can create the appearance of an object if you want.
That's all right then. I instead am going to use Mage Hand.
Okay.
And I am going to create a spectral hand just above one of these yellow dots, and I'm going to try and grab it, tickle it, something like that. Basically, the hand's just going to try and grab whatever's there and see what it achieves.
All right. Okay, I gotta read Mage Hand.
Yeah. So Mage Hand, spectral floating hand appears. It can go 30 feet. So you said they're about 10 feet away,
you're
right?
within range, absolutely.
Yeah, so I can control the hand. I can still retrieve an item. I can't attack, activate magic items, or carry more than 10 pounds.
Okay, so you basically want to, like, have the hand gently brush these objects?
Yes.
Why not
So
use
I'm
it
going
to slap the shit
caress?
out of them?
I'm going to caress the scalp.
Okay, damn, what would happen?
Am I still asleep? Because I would very much like to watch this caressing.
Currently, you are still asleep. Yeah, you conjure up this hand, and again, it sort of gives off that faint ethereal glow and wisps of almost like a blue mist fade out from it as it looks like it's constantly dissolving and reforming. And it moves out to these two, I guess we'll call them figures in the darkness, and gently caresses one of them. When that happens, you can see a very quick and spastic movement in the darkness. It is moving away from you, and with that, the other shape call you can see as well. It also darts off into the distance. Nigel, you don't see the yellow dots anymore from either one of the two.
Did that do something? I just created a magical hand to essentially poke the creatures.
Well, they seem to be disinterested in coming over to our camp. Maybe they felt satisfied with the interaction and left.
Do you know any woodscraft? Perhaps we can check their tracks.
Woodscraft? Is that like witchcraft?
Tracking, hunting.
Oh, yes.
Identifying creatures from the marks they leave on the ground.
Oh, yes, I've done that some. Do you want me to go
because I have
investigate?
no experience with it. Perhaps we should awake Mendax? Maybe, or since they're not here, maybe we can just walk over and check their tracks.
Let's go check it out. Hey,
I'll
Mendax.
grab a-
Hey,
I'll grab a
Mendax.
burning stick as well.
Did someone call me?
Yes, Carl the Kinku of the bird people called you.
What's going on? Oh, is it time to get up?
It's the middle of the night, but we just had some unexpected guests.
I still have my cloak, don't I?
Yes, you do. Everything is in proper order. We have not been attacked yet. But we were going to go track and investigate, and I wanted to keep you in the loop.
Well, I do very much appreciate that. Okay, I'll follow your lead.
Good. I would like to go and inspect this area with the creatures that were pet and then ran away.
Wait,
Okay.
wait, you pet something?
With my mage hand.
He has allergies. He didn't want to go pet them with his hand, so he used his mage hand. You understand.
Oh, yeah, perfectly. I mean, it works so well with the owls.
Oh, yes. Okay, so I go over, and do I see any...
I bring a flaming branch over from the fire. Like,
I pull my bow out just in case.
Smart. I like it. Everyone prepared. Yes, call Nigel and Mendax. You head over about 10 feet into the forest line. You can see from where you are that your fire was actually fairly decently covered by the thick foliage. So whatever it was that was watching you guys spotted you out from some distance. Go ahead and roll an investigation call.
A 9, and that's with my +4.
A 9 with your +4. Got you. You are not really able to see any tracks on the ground that would denote what kind of creature this is. Give me one perception check, though. Let's see if you notice anything in particular or anything curious about the ground they're on.
I rolled a 6. Well, a 3, but then plus 3 is 6.
Yeah, not going to happen. You're not necessarily the most apt tracker. You didn't get your degree in animal husbandry or anything. So it just looks like a bunch of dirt to you.
My friends, I believe there were some creatures here that were in what are called these woods, and they did what's called scurry off into the distance.
You can't tell what sort of creatures they are from the track? Wolves?
I have no
Some sort of
idea.
Goblins, perhaps?
I haven't even the slightest idea. You could list off 15 things, and I would say, I have no idea every time.
Can you show me the tracks?
I can't see them.
Oh, but they were right here.
I'm not actually the best tracker. I'm best in combat when I can just hit something with my huge halberd. When it comes to looking at the grass and seeing stuff that's messed up, you know, I kind of lose interest pretty fast. Us Kenku have very little patience. Tracking requires a lot of patience.
Do you mind if I have a look?
Oh, be my guest. These are just the woods. I wouldn't be upset if you browsed them.
Okay. You want to take a look for these tracks as well, Mendex?
I would very much like to take a look just to see what I can see.
Sure. Go ahead, investigation roll on that one.
Okay. 15.
15. Okay, give me a perception check as well.
14.
14. You don't see any tracks. It looks like, from what you're hearing from their description, whatever it was light enough to not make any impression in the ground. It's not necessarily that you guys aren't seeing any tracks. It's just that there's really not any there. What you do see, though, and you only see it for a second as you're shifting around looking on the ground, is a extremely fine and very thin thread, like a silk. That's sort of, you can see it now that you're looking for it, kind of covering the bottom of the ground. It's very faint. It's very, very, very thin, and it's extremely fragile. But you can now see it's not everywhere, but there are multiple threads kind of going around on the ground.
Okay, so I'm not actually a hunter or tracker, but I did take part in a play once called Web of Lies. And there was a big bit about spiders, mostly metaphorical. But I'm seeing what looks like a lot of spider thread here. Which would explain why Carl couldn't see any tracks.
I'm going to quickly look up and inspect above and see if I can see any of those yellow eyes. And I'm holding my torch high.
No, you don't see anything in the trees above you. Nothing, nothing note up there.
Do I know anything about giant spiders? Can I do a...
You could try to give me a nature roll and see if you recall any of your knowledge on it, or if you read any books about them.
21.
Yeah, 21. You know that giant spiders, if that is exactly what this is, you can't be certain. But you know that, yeah, giant spiders, they spin kind of giant webs. They are kind of ambush trap predators. They will let this silk on the ground. And anytime that an animal or any sort of creature touches it, the spider instantly knows where they're located. You know that they can aggressively use their silk as well. It's not just for defense, but they can also kind of shoot that silk out at their enemy and try to kind of hold them in place while they take care of them. Typically, they are found more in caves or, kind of abandoned buildings, castles, kind of that sort of deal, anywhere where it is very dark. But there are types of giant spiders that do live in jungles and forests, which would make sense from where you guys are.
Well, it seems like we've wandered into spider territory. We can simply keep a watch around a large fire, keep it stoked up, and they hopefully will avoid us. They do like the dark, and they tend to ambush their prey. But I'm not sure if I'm going to get any more sleep tonight with the thought of potentially giant spiders crawling around us. If you want, we could try and lure them in. These silk threads work like a network, so that when their prey steps through them or gets caught in them, it activates them and lets them know what location to come to. So perhaps we could, one of us, sit here and kind of just gently wiggle one of these silk threads for a while the others hide and wait to ambush them.
Are they susceptible to fire? If we were able to bring them in,
they'll burn as well as any other, as far as I know. I can't remember if there's any specific weakness, but definitely they'll burn just as a human would.
Or is there an option that we can just perhaps build multiple fires and stay in the middle of them and never have to fight said spider? I don't really like spiders.
Well, here's my thinking. Spider kebabs are actually quite nice if you cook them properly. I've even gone so far as to just bite their leg and have a taste of that, and it's not too bad.
So you cook your spiders, but not your fish?
Yes, well, spiders are gross. Fish are less gross. They're just swimming about, you know.
In their own filth.
It is essentially, the ocean is a bath that never gets changed.
A bath and a toilet.
You know, I don't know too much of the science about it. I just eat the fish.
I mean, fair enough. I'm just learning things here, Carl.
Well, I'm not a marine biologist.
What's the plan? You guys feeling
I'm
like
uncomfortable with sleeping, even with fires around me. I'd rather burn them to a crisp and know that we are safe. But I'll defer to what the party agrees.
I'm fine if you want to fight spiders. I'm fine fighting spiders. I just had a sharpened halberd. I personally would like to test it out. So if it's going to help you get a good night's sleep, I'll fight some spiders and we can wiggle the threads.
I mean, I'm also just for burning down the entire forest as we walk out of it, but fine, I'll go with the group on this one. If you'd like to fuck up some spiders, I suppose. I could be convinced. I mean, I did try the raw fish. Not my favorite, but a spider kebab might not be so bad.
Well, you've been arrested for theft. Why not arson, you know?
I've got to get the Trinity. Arson and murder. The only two left.
Well,
I mean, if it was a crime to kill those bandits, you'd have that one in spades.
If you're ready, you can make the signal and I can wiggle this thread and hope for the best.
I do think it's safest to have Carl wiggle the thread. Perhaps, Nigel, you and I should retreat just a bit.
We could do that. I was actually going to suggest that, one good way to get over arachnophobia is to expose yourself to it. Same with any fear, and you do have that cloak of protection.
You know what? I didn't ask for any help with this phobia. It's not so much a phobia, so much as... Ew.
It's okay to be scared.
Carl, lure your dinner to us, perhaps?
Very well. I would like to take one end of my halberd and just poke at the thread a little bit vigorously, just hitting it a bit.
We're quickly going to, or I will at least, start hiding in the densest bushes within 20 feet, preferably.
Yeah, no worries. How about you, Mendax? What do you do?
I will triangulate myself between the two of them behind a tree.
Okay, sounds good. So yeah, in your combat-ready positions, Call starts poking at this web that's on the ground with the non-sharp end of his halberd, we'll say. And yeah, we'll say you do that for maybe about 5, 10, 15 minutes. You don't notice anything. You don't see anything in the darkness. You don't hear anything around you besides just the general kind of sounds of nature at night, so bats and all the such in the wind.
Psst, Carl, Carl, are you jiggling it hard?
Yes. I'm very strong. I can jiggle it plenty hard. I don't understand spiders. Does this really coax them out? Maybe we could sing them a good spider song.
Have you tried clapping yet?
No, but I could do that. I didn't think of that.
It seems to work at other times.
Spider bird, friendly neighborhood spider bird. Come on out so we can kill you. Is that good? Come on, spiders! What the hell? We don't have all night. Our wizard is scared, and so is our rogue, and I want to eat you.
Do spiders speak the common tongue?
I don't believe they have language. I don't think they're capable of that. They're more instinct-driven creatures, but perhaps we are simply too threatening for them. So, we can either go and find a deeper concentration of webs. Maybe Carl could even find a denser bunch of them to jump into and act like he's trapped. Or we can go back and go to sleep. What do you want to do, Carl?
When you would ask a person between jumping into a web of giant spiders or curling up in a bedroll, most people would choose option 2.
Okay.
Carl?
So back to the camp.
You know, I'm trying to decide how stupid I want to be.
I mean, right now, Nigel only has one thing really to hold over your head about not being the wisest person in the group.
Well, maybe I can make your decision a little bit easier. As you guys are discussing, each of you roll a perception check.
A 2.
Okay.
21.
11.
11. All right. So Nigel, you rolled the highest, so you notice this first. It's dark, and I mean, like, it's really dark. You look back at your camp, and the fire's gone out. You spent so much time kind of focused on these spiders, you forgot that you only built a small fire back at the camp. And so currently, you have no other form of light. It's extremely dark, in fact. New moon, and there's a cloud overhead that's blocking a lot of the light. You start to feel very vulnerable.
Even his torch has gone out.
Yeah, he just brought a burning stick.
Yes, there was no oil or wrapping. Guys, the fire seems to have gone out, and I don't know about you, but it seems like the moon has been hidden by clouds. I can't see as well in this dark. I feel very uncomfortable right now.
Should we go? I do have a tinder box. We could go back and we could restart this fire. I could light this forest up right now. Let it burn.
I think we should just head straight back to the camp place and restart the fire there. Make sure our possessions are all safe.
I agree. We should look after the camp first, and then go spider hunting later.
All right.
All right,
Okay.
who's leading the party in this fire expedition, we'll say?
I would like to lead the charge to the camp, thank you.
I
I'm
will
very
guard our
nervously
rear.
standing in between the two. Yes,
I will guard the rear since my bow is already out and I have dark vision, so.
I'm quite unashamedly keeping myself in the safest position.
Absolutely. So just so you guys know, the way that dark vision works for you, Mendax, and I think Call has dark vision too.
Mm-hmm.
You do need some source of light somewhere. You don't just get to see in pitch darkness. You basically can amplify any source of light, no matter how dim it is, to see very well in the darkness. So right now, you are a little better than Nigel is. But you can still make your way back to camp. Heading back, you all, again, sort of the feeling that Nigel had is spreading to you guys, where you're starting to feel very uneasy, very vulnerable, and definitely aware of your current position and that you're in the middle of the woods with no sort of light source.
I am feeling rather uncomfortable and scanning above more than around, as I'm aware of that. Do I notice anything above us as we walk? Is there any areas of a special darkness?
You're not able to really see too far
Can't
up
see
into the
anything.
trees. It looks just like a really, really pitch black. I mean, you can see some movement along, but that could just be the wind blowing the leaves, to be honest with you. It still unsettles you, but you can't make for certain that it's any sort of creature as opposed to the trees itself.
I'm feeling really uncomfortable and exposed right now. Guys, I'm not sure I see anything, but I'm not going to take any chances. I'm going to throw a firebolt at whatever the hell moves above me, and it should create some light at the same time.
Yeah. Definitely will do that. Yeah, you see it's sort of a I mean, it is coinciding with the wind a bit, but you do notice something that catches your eye for a moment. You can't tell for sure if it's the wind or if it's something. Do you want to throw a firebolt at it?
Yep.
Okay. You go ahead and with a flick of your wrist, you're able to cast that spell that you've practiced so many times with ease, forming up this just small at first dot of fire that sort of explodes outwards while it shoots through the night. And yeah, for a moment the forest is lit up, at least in the sort of near vicinity to you. It strikes a tree branch and kind of sends it falling to the ground. Let's see here. So it wasn't anything that actually had any ill intent to you, but your firebolt does say that a flammable object hit by the spell ignites if it wasn't being worn or carried. So this larger tree branch that's fallen is now on fire and is providing a source of light for you all.
Okay, I will scurry over and try to pick. Does it look like I can pick it up without burning myself?
Yeah. It's kind of like just a big torch. It's very unwieldy. And you could spend a moment and just kind of snap it down to a smaller size by, stepping on one half and breaking it. So you can get it to be a manageable size to carry around.
I'll go ahead and do that, and
Okay.
And rejoin walking back.
Very clever work there, wizard.
Well done, Nigel.
Yes, fire. Once again, you feel instantly at ease now that you're able to see at least a little bit more. You almost notice that it's like a false sense of security because you can't even really see that far ahead of you, but instantly fire just makes you feel a lot more comfortable, Nigel. Call and Mendax, your guys' dark vision is back up and working. You kind of scan around. You don't see anything right now that looks like it's meaning to do any ill will to you guys. So you sort of sigh a bit in relief that these spiders that you went out to try to kill at first haven't decided to come back around yet.
It was a very ominous yet to end the sentence with there.
Yeah, just doing my job can't make you feel too comfortable.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Right.
it feels like the gods watching over this world always have something bad in store for us. I'm going to build this fire up extra large tonight.
I think
Absolutely. You guys are able to rekindle the fire. You can use up some extra wood and make sure that the fire is going and blazing high. We'll say, unless there's something specific you guys would like to do, are you guys going to try to go back to your regular watch rotation and then sleeping?
Yes. Yeah, I'll
Yes.
finish my watch before waking. Mendax was third?
Yeah, Mendax will be last. Okay, sounds great. Yeah, with this extra big fire, and you're really, really, really aware, you've got, the adrenaline does start to dull, but you're definitely aware that you're not alone in this forest, and that keeps you a bit on edge for the whole time, kind of making you extra perceptive of anything that might move, even if it's just the wind. Which is all it was for the rest of the night. You're not disturbed, Mendax. Your watch goes without any sort of comment or notice, really.
Easy breezy.
Easy breezy. Indeed. It's the day, and you guys are packing up and moving on your way. We'll say, Mendax, can you give me a roll for the day of travel, day 2?
15.
All right, the day of travel is pretty uneventful. Once again, you guys are able to chit chat and kind of just talk amidst walking down the trail. You're making good time. You're making pretty good speed. The weather is fair and is in your favor, so pretty happy about that. How about a d20 for the night?
Swear to God, if these fucking spiders come back. Oh, 20.
A 20. Ooh, interesting.
I don't know if this is good or bad.
Maybe a Brewfest strolls through town?
A dryad walks in and offers us magic acorns, perhaps.
Oh.
Magic acorns, you say. Everyone roll a d20. Let's see whose watch this happens on.
A 4.
A fucking 2.
16.
16. Nigel, you are just the special buddy that gets all of these things. Nigel, on your watch.
It doesn't really sound like a good thing. Oh, no, Nigel, he's our special buddy.
He's my special buddy.
I do magic.
Yeah, Nigel, while you take your watch, you are once again kind of alert. Your senses are not as heightened as the night before after seeing those creepy spiders, but you're definitely paying attention, and you're not dozing off this time during your watch. And once again, sort of off in the distance a little bit, it's not yellow dots, but it's almost like a light, a white light, very faint. It's just barely glowing. You can't quite make out what it is yet.
And how what do I think the distance is? It's just several hundred meters, yards. It's kind of hard to tell.
Oh, no. It's probably within 20 feet of your camp.
Oh.
You're once again in the forest. You haven't made it out of the Lakewood province yet.
A faint white light, you say?
Faint white light?
All right. I am going to shake Mendax this time.
Yeah,
while keeping my eyes on this light.
You shake Mendax, and she doesn't wake up. Oddly enough. Make a willpower save, Nigel. A wisdom save, I guess.
A wisdom save, hey?
Yes, sir. Should be +4 there.
Yeah, so 6.
Oh, 6. Fantastic. You feel really comfortable, and you think you should head towards the light.
All right. You know it. I'm a brave wizard. I've returned rings to lost. Well, I've lost wives to husbands. I've slayed bandits, and I'm quite heroic. Let's explore this white light.
Perfect. Yeah, you are completely unafraid. This is the great idea. You can't think of a better thing to do. You walk over and into the darkness as you start to head over towards this very faint white light that's over there. And as you approach, you see a small clearing, and you see a woman. She is dressed in a silver flowing gown, and it's a very ethereal looking woman. Give me another wisdom save.
So silver gown, you said. Kind of ethereal, a little bit glowy. Okay, another wisdom save, hey?
Yes, please.
We got an 11 + 4, a 15.
A 15. You're not quite broken out of this trance, but you start to kind of put 2 and 2 together, and you realize that you're not sure if what you're seeing is 100% accurate. You can't tell. You think that your eyes might be playing tricks on you. You sort of rub them. You try to rub the sleep away. You kind of pat the pocket where those magic shrooms were at. Make sure that you didn't accidentally eat a couple of those. But no, there's a woman definitely in the clearing, and she is sort of dancing about almost to the sounds of the woods. And that is the source of the glowing. Is this lady who has extremely long, very pure white hair, very fair skin, and you can tell that she's an elf. She is going to point at you and kind of beckon you to come closer. Make a wisdom save with disadvantage, Nigel.
Okay. How's disadvantage work?
So 2d20 for your roll and take the lowest
you
one.
just take the lowest as the okay.
Yes.
That's a 9 plus 4, so a 13.
Got it. Yeah, you shake off those feelings of doubt that you had, silly feelings. How could this be a bad situation? And you walk over to her, and she's sort of in a very graceful and soundless way, dances around you, and you're filled with euphoria. You're so happy. This is a great thing that's going on. And she'll kind of stop in front of you and just tap you on the nose with her hand, and she'll fade into like thousands of shimmering lights and glowing orbs that descend into the sky. And that feeling that you had was gone, and you realize that you're standing out in the middle of the woods, and you have something that you're holding on to in your hand, but you can't make out what it is, being that you're in the darkness.
What are you?
You don't
Do
get
I sense any presence? It feels like I'm alone.
You get the sense that you are alone. You're not necessarily scared, but you're very acutely aware that you're standing in the darkness by yourself.
Do I know anything about have I read anything about experiences like this, dancing ethereal elves in the woods?
Give me an Arcana check.
Okay, that's a +5 for me, so that's a 24.
A 24, yes, absolutely. You are very certain that what you just encountered was a ghost, but that there are very rare occurrences where people will meet with spirits or ghosts, shades or wraiths, if you will, that are not inherently evil. So while you cannot be certain, you think that what you encountered was essentially a friendly type of entity.
Awesome. Well, with what I hope isn't simply some ectoplasm in my hand, I'm going to walk back to camp and back to the fireplace quite quickly.
Yeah, you're able to get back there. You try to move quickly, but you're definitely taking care not to trip over anything in the darkness. As you're walking back, you feel this object that you're holding in your right hand, and it's very cold. It's very hard and solid. It feels like it's made of metal. Getting back to the camp, you can see that what you have in your hand is a mirror. It's a silver mirror.
Well, I guess I'll sit down next to the campfire and examine the mirror. Can I see my own reflection in it?
You do not actually. The mirror, you're looking at it, and it's the scene of whatever is behind you.
Oh, so it's kind of showing my reflection minus me, basically. It's reflecting the scenery, but not me.
Correct.
Ooh. Hello, mirror in my hand. What is your mysterious thing, and why can't I see myself?
Funny enough, the mirror doesn't say anything to you.
Huh. This is weird. I'm going to put it in my robe and try to keep my attention on watch until it's my turn to wake up the next person.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. The rest of your watch goes without any sort of incident, and yeah, it's time to wake up Mendax if you're keeping the same order.
Cool. All right, I'll wake up Mendax and kind of quickly explain my experience and show her the mirror, and just tell her to keep an eye out for any friendly ghosts that might be giving her a mirror which doesn't actually show you in it and is kind of creepy and a little bit weird.
Honestly,
yeah, you show her the mirror. Mendax's appearance does show up in it.
Oh my god! Why didn't somebody tell me I looked like this?
No, you just woke up. Nothing to be worried about. I think what would be more worrying is if you don't show up at all. Is it trying to say that I'm not a person? It's making me rather uncomfortable looking into it and not seeing myself. It's really frigging weird.
This is what happens when you take shiny objects from strange women in forests, honestly.
She was very attractive and a great dancer. Don't judge me.
Fair enough. Perhaps Carl will know something about it in the morning. You go to sleep, dreaming of strange women, and I will keep watch.
I most certainly will.
Yeah, absolutely. Mendax, your watch goes without incident, and you're greeted by the morning sun and able to wake everyone up and carry along your way, I'm assuming, or are you going to show Call that mirror?
I'll show Carl the mirror as well. He shows up as well, does he?
Nope, Call does not show up.
Ah.
Your mirror seems to be broken, good friend. Where did you get this?
There was a rather sexy ghost woman dancing in the woods, and I kind of got enchanted, I think, because I
Oh, is that what they call it now?
I mean, I wandered several hundred meters into the woods in the dark without really feeling even a slight bit of risk, and then we danced together a little, and then she disappeared into shiny lights that went into the sky. And then I had the mirror, and I don't show up in it, but Mendax does, and I don't really know why, but I feel like maybe Mendax is the weird one now that we two don't show up, and she does. So maybe.
Well, first of all, that's very rude. It could be some sort of. I mean, I don't know if you know this. It's not very apparent, but I do have demon blood. It could be something to do with that. Neither of you do. Which I will say is not weird.
I kind of probably do.
Oh, do you?
Yes.
Oh, then fuck me.
Demon?
I don't know. Maybe it doesn't show ugly people. I don't know.
Well, I took that, excuse me?
Well, he called me weird.
Mendax, just because you haven't had a hot forest elf ghost babe experience doesn't mean you have to take it out on us, okay?
First of all, he called me weird first. Second of all, Carl, I do apologize to you. I do apologize. I am a bit jealous of the hot forest elf ghost babe experience.
Congratulations, Nigel, on your first one. I've actually had that happen 5 times. It's great, every time.
Oh my god.
Always gets me. I get in that situation, I'm like, is this real? And then just poof. Oops, excuse me. And then you can only hope for the next one, you know? Why is that funny?
5 times?
Yes.
Is it the same one every time, or are they different?
No, with the same one twice.
Oh, she came back for seconds.
Oh, yes.
Good for you.
Thank
Carl.
you.
Oh my god.
Did she touch the tip of your beak?
Yes.
Monka S.
It's a nice
Innocent
beak.
question.
I bang it into things all the time. So, just to be clear, this is a common nature phenomenon. If you've ever been in forests at night, this could happen to anybody. We don't need to put Nigel on the spot for it. He's just trying his best, you know. He's learning a lot of new things. This is a week of new experiences for him.
So what you're saying is these elven ghost ladies get around and Nigel shouldn't feel special?
Yes.
Okay.
It felt.
Nigel, you might want to get your nose checked out.
No, he'll be fine. But I don't know about this mirror. I didn't get any mirrors. Maybe they have a discount this week or something. Who knows?
Well, I hope so.
How come it
They don't
shows
give
you
us a
anyway?
discount.
How come it only shows you?
I've no idea. Actually, in the middle of the night, I wish it wouldn't have showed me.
Are you secretly a hot elf forest babe ghost?
Well, if it was a secret, I couldn't tell you.
Are you unsecretly?
No, but I did play one on stage once. In Forest Fantasy Part 4. It was a long series.
For God's sake. Jesus.
You have quite the storied theater career. I must commend you.
Oh no.
I am a character actress. I can claim any parts.
Incredible.
That one did require a lot of acrobatics.
That's amazing. So, we've had spiders one night, and Nigel had an experience last night. How far have we come anyway? Are we still in the Lakewood territory?
Well, I think Nigel's come a lot farther than most of us.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god. And next
What I meant in life experience, honestly. Disgusting.
Yes.
If that was a real question, yeah, you guys are still in the Lakewood province. It's been 2 days.
This has been a very saucy journey. I'm happy to be sharing it with you. But I think we could likely proceed with our quest now that we've reminisced on his Hot Elf Forest Ghost Babe experience.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
I'm happy to tuck my mirror away and investigate it at a later date.
Among other things.
It's very special to me.
I'm
I'll
sure
keep
it
it close
is.
to my heart.
Yeah, you can add a special mirror to your equipment if you like there. You can keep it next to the 11 owl feathers that you have.
Did he need the pearl to identify it so we can't identify it?
Correct.
We could go rob that poor man again.
No, we can't rob anything. The pearl was destroyed.
Oh, I was speaking out of character for a moment, excuse me.
Oh, then out of character. Yeah, let's go rob that fucker one more time. I want that ring back.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Okay,
shit.
Nigel, roll me a d20 for the next day. Travel.
All right. Just added that special mirror. We've got a D20. That is going to be a 10.
Okay. Day is fine. Roll me a d20 for the night.
16.
16. Yep, night's fine too. Day
Alright.
4. Call, let's go ahead and hit up a d20, please.
11.
Okay, the day is fine. Give me a d20 for the night.
3.
3. Go ahead and each person give me a d20 roll for the nighttime.
8.
Okay.
I have a 6.
I don't know if Nigel can hear us.
I don't think he.
I can now.
Okay,
Sorry,
great.
what was-
Give me a d20 roll for the night. For night, what is this? 4. Give me a d20.
Yep, that's number 5.
Okay. Let's see. Call, you are first watch for the night. Everything is relatively fine. But actually during your watch, you hear a faint whistling noise, almost like it's very, very far away. Yeah, it's almost, to speak in like, you know, real life terms, it's almost like a jet flying very far away. It's almost kind of like how that sounds. How it'll be that rumbling, but also that sort of high-pitched whine as it cuts through the air. And that's it. That's all you hear.
That doesn't sound like any hot forest elf ghost babe I've ever heard. What was that?
Yeah, who knows? The rest of the night, though, goes on without any sort of consequence, to be honest.
I would like to practice that sound that I just heard.
Yeah, you can do it flawlessly.
Oh, perfect. I'll add that to my repertoire.
Faint, distant whistling. Got it.
Yes.
Added. It's a sound you've never heard before. You're very keen to add it to your sound library.
My sound cloud.
Your sound cloud.
Right along with just explosive farts.
Yes.
And knock at the door. Perfect. Mendax, give me a d20 roll for day... What are we on? 5 now.
Yes. 10.
10. Nothing happens during the day. Give me one for the night.
1.
A 1. Oh, all right, great. Nobody even needs to give me d20 rolls. Mendex, you are the third watch for the night. I'm assuming you guys are just kind of keeping it in that same order. You're bored for the most part, just kind of sitting. The last few nights have been uneventful. Call, maybe mention that noise or not, but again, it's like, who even really knows what that is? But suddenly, you hear the same noise that Call did, except for it's a piercing screech almost right above you. And you look up into the sky, you can barely make out the shape of something flying overhead. It wakes up everybody, actually. As this, it's like almost a rumble of something that passed by extremely quick. And it's an extremely, like I said, loud and shrill, high-pitched screeching.
Ooh.
Ah!
No, it was more of a screech than a who. A who is what the owls do. If I can give a correction. Could I?
I don't think Nigel was imitating it, Carl.
Oh.
Do we feel air? Do we feel air?
As whatever it was passes by, you do feel like this whoosh of air as like the trees are sort of blown to one side. Yeah. They don't snap or anything like that, but yes, whatever passed by had enough force to almost shake the ground.
Oh, fudge.
Show
That
off.
sounded large.
It's
Very large.
large and winged, and I'm no scholar, but I feel like that sounds like a dragon.
I'm gonna start kicking the fire out with haste.
Okay.
I pull out my bow.
Yeah, absolutely. You're able to do these things. You don't hear anything. You're all trying to remain very silent to see, can you hear anything off in the distance? You're not hearing anything new, though.
I would like to lean back, kind of bitter about flighted creatures showing off. Skenku are flightless, and we could once fly, but we cannot fly any longer, and this is overall more annoying to me than scary.
Yes, you're very upset and even a little bit jealous. You do think that flying would be awesome.
Oh, look at me flapping about. That's great.
We'll say that for the rest of the night, you guys kind of huddled together, unsure of what it was now 2 nights that has disturbed your peace. But besides that, you're not going to hear anything or notice anything really too different.
From now on, I think we sleep without a campfire, at least for a few days while we're in that thing's territory.
I think that's probably a good idea. Even if the spiders come back, I'd much rather deal with whatever fucking spiders there are than whatever screechy, flappy thing was above us.
Indeed.
Sounds good. All right, so that was night 5. We're on to day 6. Nigel, can you give me a d20 roll for day 6, please?
A 3.
A 3. Perfect. Before we get to what happens with the 3, it might be a pretty decent time for a quick 5-minute intermission break. Does that sound good for you guys?
Yeah.
Can do.
All right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning into Wayfarers episode... Oh god, what was that? Oh, it's just a hot elf forest babe. Never mind. We'll be back after this quick break. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the hottest new campaign on Twitch. It is WayfarersDnD 5th edition. Our adventurers have just made their way from Lakewood Town into an enchanted wood, filled with hot elf ghost babes, and spiders, and some mysterious thing that has been swooping above them in the night. Will they survive? Will they make it to Dwarven Home? Find out right now on Wayfarers.
Alrighty. Who rolled the 3? Who was that? That was Nigel?
The one and only.
The one and only. Okay, so this is day 6, I think I said, of your guys' travel. And you have now, sort of on this day, you've made it out of the thick forest, and you're now entering more of a sort of rocky, desert-like terrain. It's not sandy, but it's almost like a badlands. The dirt in the ground itself is like this reddish, almost brick color. And you can see these sort of dry rock spires that are piercing into the sky in the distance. And as you make your way along this day, the path that you're on starts to turn, and you head towards essentially these 2 mountain areas. And you make it over to them, and you guys are met by a person on the road who is standing there with a sign. Let me go ahead and pull up the little scene for that real quick. Yeah.
We got it on stream already for the viewers.
Perfect.
Oh.
Yeah. So, yeah, the blocked path there. So we have an individual that's standing between and sort of is in the way of the only pathway through this, like, almost ravine, you could call it, this little valley between these 2 mountains, without starting to climb and go around. You can see him off in the distance. You notice him probably like 100 yards out.
Oh, it seems there's a nice person in the road. Maybe we should go say hello.
I feel like perhaps not all of us should go. It might be wise not to actually show our numbers. I don't trust strangers in the road.
What's wrong with numbers? You don't need to be ashamed of your numbers. Everyone has numbers. I'll go talk to him. I think it's a Snorlax.
Okay, so Call's gonna go talk to him. Is anybody else going to chat with this stranger in the road, or are Nigel and Mendax staying behind?
He's holding a sign. He seems like he's rather helpful. Maybe he was hired by the king to tell travelers where to go. I'll follow Carl.
I'm
Okay.
going to take whatever kind of slight cover I can, and I won't immediately draw my bow, but I've got my hands ready.
Okay, yeah, we'll say that you can kind of head off of the pathway a little bit. And it's, again, there's not really trees or anything in this area. It's a pretty barren wasteland of sorts. It's very dry, cracked earth and dirt. But you can stay maybe 50 feet back and try to take some refuge behind a pile of stones that are there. From that distance, you're not going to be able to hear anything. But you think you may be able to avoid detection.
Okay.
Is that what you want to do?
Yes, I would like to do that. It's somebody standing in the middle of a valley. It just looks like a very good place for an ambush.
Sure. Yeah, so you stand back there while Call and Nigel move forward to investigate this stranger on the road. And as you get closer, he waves at you guys. And you can see that as you approach, and you're now within, 10, 15 feet of him or so, he's wearing this sort of dusty gray shawl that's kind of pulled over all of his clothes. His hair is like almost greased back, and it's this jet black color. He has a pretty good tan on him, but it doesn't look like he's had to do really any sort of hard work necessarily. His skin isn't cracked, but but you can see that he's been outside for a good while. Nigel and Call, go ahead and roll me a perception real quick. And let me know what you get.
5. Carl perceives all.
20.
20. Okay, so Nigel, you notice this. You can see his nose, though it looks like it's for the most part straight. It seems to be crooked in a couple of spots, as if it's been broken a couple of times and maybe set back into place. And when you guys approach, he smiles at you really wide, and his teeth are really, really white, like whiter than yours, Nigel, and you take really good care of them. But he smells as if he hasn't showered or done really basic hygiene for a couple of days. So you can definitely kind of get a whiff of him, if that makes sense. And he'll engage you guys in conversation first. The sign that he has behind him, it's sort of planted in the ground. You can see that there is a bit of like an exclamation mark on it, with like a couple of exclamations actually, as if to be like a warning essentially. And it says bagel bugs, BEGELBUGS. And he'll say, welcome, my friends. Welcome, welcome on this absolutely beautiful and divine day. And he'll just smile at you, looking very friendly.
Good sir.
Hail, stranger.
It's excellent to meet you. What might be your name? I am Carl, the Kenku, and this is Nigel, our smart wizard.
Why, Carl of the Kenku and Nigel, the most wise wizard. My name is Alleluia Jackson. It is the most pleasurable experience to meet you on this day.
It's very nice to meet you as well, and that's a lovely sign you have.
Why, yes, this sign right here, this is such a beautiful sign. Made it myself, to tell you the truth. And I just gotta let you know, you all should be right careful up ahead, because, don't know if you're aware of this or not, but there are bagel bugs up ahead on the road.
Good sir, what in the earth is a bagel bug?
Yeah, both of you guys roll nature.
Seeing as how I'm proficient in nature, I will still roll low. 13.
I have read many, many books, but I roll a 5.
Yeah, you guys have never heard of such a thing before. Whether that's, because you missed it, who knows?
A bagel bug? What? I've never heard of such a creature.
Why, yes, I'm surprised you haven't heard of them. Foul, nasty little devils, if I'm to tell you the truth. But don't be afeard, my fine compatriots, because I, Alleluia Jackson, knows the way through and can avoid these terrible little demons.
So would you just help us out of good charity, or what?
Well, I would love to be as charitable as yourself, mighty Carl and most noble and wise Nigel. But you see, I do need to make a living, and these days, as a wilderness forester, as it would be, I do need to charge just the faintest of prices, just to lead you on through the pathway. I'm sure it won't be any big deal for those such as mighty and wealthy as yourself.
What might be your going rate, sir?
Why, I do think it is quite reasonable, as there is no one else on this road who knows the way around these vicious little demons, let me assure you. It is a simple 10 gold a person.
10 gold a person. Well, seeing as how there are 2 of us, would that be about 15 gold?
I see, and he'll look at Nigel and go, I see Carl of the Cancun people, not as learned in the arithmetic. That is a-okay, Carl. Don't you worry about a thing. Me and your friend over here, we're going to do business ourselves. That would be about 20 gold there, Nigel.
It's worth a shot.
That's a ridiculous sum. 20 gold to get us past some bugs we've never even heard of, and whose word are we to trust but yours, standing out here in the middle of the road, just charitably waiting for strangers to come and lead them past? What even are these beggar bugs? Are they insectoid creatures? Do they have shells? Do they bite? Poison? What exactly is so dangerous about them anyway?
Nigel, I can see that you are a distinguishing man of the utmost intelligence. Well, let me tell you what these things do here. What they like to do, and he'll kind of get close to the ground, is they dig real deep. They dig real deep into the earth, you see. They upheave the ground. They root around with their filthy bodies. And when anything steps over top of it here, they shoot these spikes out of the ground in order to capture them, and they eat ferociously. Oh, just terrible. Many a foot has been stabbed by these bugs, I do swear, and it is not a pleasant thing to take a look at.
I don't have the gold to spare. I'm sorry, hallelujah, but that seems like a preposterous. I guess we'll just have to take another route.
Nigel, do you have a minute?
Just a moment, please. I'll need to confer with Carl.
Wow, of course. Take your time, please. And you tell your friend over there I don't bite.
This is an
I wasn't worried.
absolutely insane amount of money.
I wasn't worried about him biting us. Do you not actually have enough? I have enough.
I've got enough. I just don't want to give it to this man. He gives me the bloody shakes. His teeth are too white. His hair's greased back. He smells like something awful. I don't know what the hell he's doing out here. I don't trust him.
You know, now that you mention it, this is a rather unwise business model. I haven't seen any other people on this road. I wonder how much business he gets. Maybe that's why his prices are so high. He gets so little business.
Maybe that's why he smells so bad. I don't feel comfortable being around him at all. If we don't give him the money, I feel like, I don't know.
But just one point, if I may. He thinks that it's just two of us. Mendax is just over there hiding behind the rock. She could still sneak about and follow us along, you know. We could give her a signal, like this, and then she could follow us, and we pay 2/3 of the price.
Just to clarify, when he said, tell your friend I don't bite, he was pointing at the rock that Mendax was hiding behind.
Shit.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah. I think we can agree to pay him, but Mendax, do you want to come over here?
Okay, I sidle up.
All right, so he wants 10 gold a person to lead us past the bagel bugs, which to me sounds like, I don't know. Have you ever been, not sure if you two have ever lived a luxurious life, but sometimes when you live in a large city, there are those who ride in magnificent carts which have glass windows you can see through, and there are these people on the street, dark characters, who will come up with their dirty, soapy water and try to wash the front of the windows on the cart and demand ridiculous sums for it. And to be fair, some of them are good people, some aren't. But this guy, he creeps me out like the weirdest one of them all. He would purposefully put mud in his water, put it over the windows of the cart, and then he would charge you to then actually clean off the filth he's just put on it. It's just a weird, uncomfortable vibe. I don't trust him. And I think if we go through, we need to demand some way of making sure we don't have to pay him. Perhaps proof these bagel bugs exist. Maybe we can make him show us the bagel bugs and get on through here. But I'm just as likely to be happy to walk straight past through here without paying him at all.
Yes, I mean, he wants 10 gold a person. Well, I'd like to dance with sexy elf and ghost ladies in the forest, but we don't always get what we want. I couldn't hear everything that he was said, but I can smell him. I'm downwind, and I don't trust anyone who doesn't bathe.
What about this? What about we sponsor him, let's say, with a little 10 gold to start, and then we pay him the rest at the end if we get there in one piece?
How about we only pay him all at the end if we get there in one piece?
Agreed.
And then at the end, maybe we just give him 15 gold anyway.
I
It's
have
still
an
an
idea.
exorbitant price.
If we set the
We
condition,
knock him out and we run.
if we set the condition that we pay him if we make it there all in one piece, and if just a few paces back one of my feathers were to fall off onto the ground, then we wouldn't have technically made it there all in one piece, and then we get a huge discount at the end.
I think I like that loophole. Carl, are you sure you don't have a little tiefling in you?
What do you mean? Because people discriminate against me?
Yes, also that.
Because I'm clever?
Because you'd like a discount.
Oh, yes. Well, I'd much prefer to purchase potions than tour guide. This is a rather bleak passage, isn't it?
Yes.
It's
So
I
how's
think,
that for a plan? We
so-
say payment at the end on the condition that we make it there all in one piece.
Let's negotiate it down to 15 gold in total as well. 20 gold maximum, even beforehand.
okay. And
Still a very high price.
I've heard
I
Mendax has
probably
never lost a haggle. We should let her do it.
I was just about to say, generally speaking, people don't like me very much. And I don't know why. But yeah, they don't like giving me discounts. Is he by any chance wearing any rings? Did you notice?
No?
You guys did not see any rings, no?
Damn. Okay, well, I don't think I should be the one doing the negotiations.
Well, Nigel's the clever one. You can do it if you think 15 is the reasonable price. In one piece.
Nigel, when you
15
go up
in one
there,
piece. Let's do it.
I want you to treat him, look at him like he's a sexy elfin ghost lady in the woods. Make him feel like he is that kind of object of your attention and affection. He needs to feel special.
He already seems to be very happy. I don't know if he needs help.
Advice noted. All right.
Okay.
I'm going to stride back over there. Hallelujah. We've come to an accord. We will take on your services, but they are very, very pricey. And we will only pay the full rate if you prove the existence of these Begglebugs on our way through. Are you capable of that?
And he'll think for a second. Prove the existence of the bagel bug. Well, well, well. I see we do have a discerning customer here before Hallelujah Jackson today. Why, yeah, I think I could arrange that to happen, but you're going to have to be careful. Be careful where you step. You must follow my movements exactly to the T. Don't you get out of line, otherwise you might lose a couple of your toes.
Mr. Jackson, that sounds fair. So, as long as you get us all there in one piece, we'll pay you the full 30 gold once we get past the Begglebugs. Deal?
As you wish it, Nigel. I think we do have ourselves an accord. And he'll stick his hand out to shake and smile real wide.
All right.
Great.
Shaken.
He will yeah. Let's see. He'll also greet Mendax. Hi there, pretty lady. It is so nice to meet you. I didn't want you to have to hide all the way over there. It is such a hot day today. Come on over where it is with us in the shade. Glad that we have all three of us here on this most fun and exciting adventure. All right, now, everybody. Hands and feet inside the line. You all follow me now. We're playing a little bit of a game. It's called Do What Hallelujah Jackson Do. Here we go. And he's going to start walking past the sign. And he kind of are going to make these, like, really over the top, like, sneak movements where he's just barely prancing his way around. Come on, everybody, you gotta be careful. Prance like this now. Come on. And he's gonna tiptoe his way in a seemingly random zigzag pattern, kind of all over the place. You guys gonna follow what he does exactly, or what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna do it perfectly. Perfect.
Your
Call the
master
Kenku, the Dexter Tenku. Call the Kenku. Dodge the bugs.
Okay, Mendax, Nigel.
I'm gonna shake my head, sigh, and also copy.
I'm going to roll my eyes profusely and walk in the same spots, but I'm not going to look like a fool while I do it.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, you guys, you continue to do this for about 5 minutes or so. Nigel, roll a roll an Arcana check.
23. My dice rolling is out of control today.
23. Okay, sounds good. Mendax, you are just kind of following the steps that they're moving in, and you see and hear this this kind of small shaking of the earth, just maybe a few inches to the right of your foot, as this giant black sort of spike just protrudes from the ground very quickly. And he'll, Aaliyah Jackson will stop and go, "You gotta follow our movements precisely. I told you, Mendax, precisely. Please, I don't want you to get hurt now." And Nigel, you feel the tinge of magic.
Is this I'd like to examine the spike. Is it still sticking out of the ground? Can I
Yes,
kind of
it is.
see? Okay, so all right, I'm going to both look at it, but I'm also going to very quickly pull a stone out of my pocket and I'm going to throw it at the spike.
Yeah, you throw it at the spike and the rock goes through it.
As I thought. All right, so I am gonna shake my head and I'm going to walk off route of the way that we're walking. Mr. Jackson, what the hell is this trickery?
Is about 30 feet down the road as he started running as fast as he could as soon as he pulled the rock out.
I'm going to dash forward to catch up with him and tackle him by his fucking charlatan ankles.
We didn't pay him anything, did we?
I don't care. He was going to try to take it. Give me them ankles, baby.
Oh God. Okay, let's see. So you're trying to tackle Mr. Jackson, huh? What would he do? Okay, so you have a dash. Roll a d20 to try to tackle him.
16.
16. Okay, let me look at something real quick here.
I want to take those fucking shoes. If I get him, those shoes are fucking mine.
Good Lord.
I have heard stealing somebody's shoes does make them your bitch.
I'm sorry, Mr. Jackson.
It's just science.
Those spikes aren't real.
Oh yes, this is my favorite.
Oh.
As you go to tackle him, let me see.
He better hope this works, because if it doesn't, I'm shooting him with an arrow.
Oh my goodness.
He is able to just stay out of the reach of your jump. Make a wisdom save.
Okay, let me see my wisdom.
And let me know what you roll.
Oh, wrong die. Might help if I rolled the right one. 16. Okay. Well, that's with my +1.
Okay, 16. He stops for a moment and kind of he kind of wiggles his finger around a little bit. And you can feel sort of the tingling of magic as it's starting to kind of brush over your face, but it dissipates pretty quickly.
Get that weak shit out of here!
He'll continue running away.
I'm going to cast sleep on him. Using one of my spell slots. 90 feet.
Okay.
90 feet range. so he should.
Oh
be
yeah,
around
okay,
again.
absolutely. What do we have to do here? What is the is there a resistance I
I
roll?
need to roll 5d8, and the total is how many hit points of creatures it can affect. So
Ah, okay. So tell me what you get there.
Oh, Nigel. I hate this person.
all right, so we got an 18, a 3, a 12. Oh, sorry, d8s, wasn't it? Rolling d20s, just automatic habit. I think it was d8, right?
Wow, these are
Yes.
super
Cheater!
Like, these are some big d8s. Oh yeah. Here we go. That's a. Okay, so we got a 4, an 8, a 2, a 5, and an 8. So that's like what? 13, 15, 23 plus 4, 27.
Yeah, you are able to how long does it last for here?
Long enough for me to stab that bitch. Let's go. I don't like him.
Spell lasts 1 minute. Okay, yeah, as he's sort of continuing to run, he just kind of stops and falls onto the ground.
Like
Guess
one
he
of
got
those
tired.
goats.
Yeah, like one of those goats. Like a
Wingardium Sleepiosa.
Perfect. Yeah, he is asleep on the ground.
All right, I've put him to sleep. I guess we can now take his shoes and maybe give him a shower. Personally, I'm not too keen on searching through him or touching.
I mean, I don't want to bathe him. So if that's you can bathe him if you like, but I'd rather pick his pockets than bathe him. I would like to jump forward. I have rope. I would very much like to bind him with said rope, then go through his pockets, then steal his shoes.
Okay.
I'd probably be awake for the shoe stealing, but that's even better. I'd like to look at him in his eyes as I steal his shoes.
Shouldn't we be dancing about in a more cautious manner with all these bugs about?
They're not real, Carl. It was an illusion.
He was doing the illusion?
Yes, he's a magician.
But that was so fun.
I mean, the physics of it was ridiculous, though. The thought that there's some sort of insectoid creature with 6 legs that burrows underground and yet somehow has the force to burrow horizontally through many, many yards of earth and then to launch a spike upwards into its target. It's simple fantasy. It's completely physically unfeasible.
You do realize this is coming from someone who just had a hot forest elf babe ghost experience.
She was very real, very beautiful, and I have a mirror to prove that it happened.
That is true, you do have evidence. And we have a sleeping person here now, thanks to you.
A bound sleeping person.
Okay, so you're going to bind him, right?
Yes, I do have rope. I would like to bind him.
Yeah, sure. He is bound up. You're able to do that without really any issue. And you want to look through his pockets?
Oh, yes, I want whatever gold he's lifted from other innocent travelers. I think we deserve that. In their memory, of course.
Yeah, he doesn't actually have any gold on him. What he does have is in his, like, one of the pockets on his jacket, he has a folded piece of paper.
Oh, well then I'm going to take the paper. I won't look at it yet. I'm just going to hand it off to Nigel. He likes papers and things like that. Nigel, this is for you. There's no gold.
I can always use some more pages.
Yeah, it's paper for you. But we don't have any gold. Has he woken up yet?
Not yet. No.
Was there any writing on the parchment, or is it just a single page parchment?
It's folded up.
Okay, I'll open it up and read it if I can.
While he's doing that, I would like to remove Alleluia's shoes and
Okay.
pants.
Did you tie his legs at all?
No, just his hands behind his back.
Okay, just his hands behind his back. Yeah, sure. You can take his shoes and his pants if you want.
Yes, I would very much like his pants.
They're pretty nice looking shoes. They're like a fairly decent quality leather boot, with like a brass buckle on them. And his pants are just a simple kind of green linen. They look like they were both kept fairly clean. Yeah, you're able to do that. He'll wake up once you start to do that. Nigel, you open up the piece of paper. You realize instantly what it is as a black inked rune on the paper lights up for a brief moment. Roll a wisdom save.
Oh crap. Okay. 15 plus 4, 19.
19. Yes, you are able to overcome the sleep spell. Funny enough, that was
Oh, in
this
your
scroll
face. Hallelujah.
meant to deter or trick any pickpockets that he might encounter. Yes, so you're fine.
And with that, is it kind of burn up, or does the way a runed scroll work is that I can use it again? I can kind of save it for later.
No, it's now just a regular piece of paper. Essentially, the like ink on it dries up and almost flares into a crisp and dissolves off of the page, leaving it spotless.
One more piece of parchment, then. I'll add
You
that
have
to
a
my
piece of
pack.
paper. You want to keep it?
Woohoo.
Yep.
I will.
That's gonna come in handy later.
No worries. Yeah, Alleluia is awake. Well, I just don't understand why we have come to some sort of impasse here.
I would like to slap him.
Okay.
Just very quickly.
You're able to slap him.
Okay, I slap him.
Madam, I didn't take you for such a brigand and a ruffian.
Mr. Jackson, we need to talk. So, my
Wait.
friends here were not very amused by your trickery. I thought it was great fun. However, it seems that these bugs are fictitious, and the dance moves, fun as they may be, were not necessary for us to make it through this passage. Furthermore, that would be rustling, 30 gold from us to you for doing some dance moves, but dishonestly. And that's the problem that I have with you. Because Mendax, she was involved in theater. And that involves telling a story and making things up. But it's done in an honest way. You know that these are performers and they're entertaining you. So why not turn a new leaf and say, I'm going to guide you through this passageway in the most entertaining way possible. You lied to us, sir. And now you've been tackled and put to sleep and tied up. These are consequences.
He'll look real upset for a moment. Oh, Carl, it's just so hard out there in the real world, I tell you, sir. I mean, there's all these people out there that they're murdering and killing and pillaging and just they are doing domestic forgery of all manner and fashion. I'm just out here trying to make a decent living the only way I know how. It's not my fault. It's the times, I tell you, the times. You got to take pity on old Alleluia Jackson. I didn't mean to do you no harm. I'm just your friendly, I just do a little bit of theater. That's all.
Why not join a theater production then?
Your
Because
powers
he's a terrible
of illusion.
actor.
Your powers of illusion are not unimpressive. Surely you could make good money with a traveling troupe. Create lights, scenery, sounds, rumblings, lightning. You could create more of a stage experience than anything any townspeople had ever seen.
You know what, Nigel? You're right. I could do that. I think I will. I feel inspired by your humility and graciousness in these manner. Thank you, Lord Nigel. You are so very correct. I just untie me, and I will make my way to the nearest troop, and I will join the theater. I feel a new calling in life. Oh, a blessed day this is.
Isn't it a bit windy? Oh no, your pants are gone.
It's just a pair of pants. I mean, what's a pair of pants between friends now? Am I right?
That's one
We're
leg
not
each.
friends. And I don't trust you. And I don't plan on untying you. In fact, I plan on tying your legs and leaving you here for your bagel bugs.
I thought those weren't real.
It was. Yeah, no, it's okay. It was a whatever, you know. Carl, I'm having a moment here.
What was that? Oh, that was a joke.
I mean, we don't really have to do that now. I mean, y'all didn't get hurt, you know. We just had a little bit of fun. You can let old Hallelujah Jackson go. I don't see what the problem is here.
Oh, you think robbery is fun, do you?
Don't you?
Excuse you? Oh, because I'm a tiefling, you assume that I rob people.
Oh, here we go.
What do you know about me, Hallelujah Jackson? You know nothing. We trusted you to guide us through your bagel bugs, and now you have shown your prejudice. So you are racist and a thief. Well, fuck your pants and fuck your freedom, sir.
He will he'll do a thieves' can't sign to you from his bound hands. And you get the sense that he knows that you are a part of the theater, a part of the troupe. I think Call mentioned it, that you were a part of the theater. And that is almost like hand in hand with being a thief or a burglar.
Fair enough. You're still not getting your pants back. Or your shoes.
Was that some sort of secret symbol? Is he part of a guild together?
I think those are gang signs.
Oh.
Yes.
I've read about some gangs. Are you part of a gang, Mendax?
I mean, I was at one point, but I'm out of it now, and I was planning on, you know, starting a charity to help get other people out. But it's fine. We'll talk about it later, Nigel.
So, are we leaving him here, or?
Oh, I'm not untying him.
You know, he didn't have anything really of value on him, but I mean, he can't just be living out here all alone. Where's your campsite?
My campsite? I mean, it was just in the woods, a little bit off of the path. I'm sorry, not the woods. I misspoke as the DM there. It was just off of the path, a little bit behind one of the hills. I really don't have much there. I kind of got to this spot recently, to tell you the honest truth.
Oh, the honest truth. How refreshing.
Yeah.
I say that was an excellent question, Nigel. I say we prop this pantsless wonder up and have him take us to his campsite.
I agree. Though he's a tricky one. The scroll of sleep, he already had his trap on his person, so
that's a good point.
I'm a little worried that he may have his campsite trapped as well. He's one of the slipperiest bastards I've ever met.
I think he's funny. I don't really see the problem in all this.
I could tell he was also trying to cast some sort of magic on Mendax when she was chasing him down. I don't really know what his abilities are.
But haven't you casted magic on people?
Yes, I have.
In defense.
Usually, yes.
Well, I mean,
and might I
normally
say,
attacked us first.
Might I say that was an excellent application? I believe that was the sleep spell. Did you like my little note there as well? I conjured that thing up myself.
Yes, I mean, it wasn't bad in theory. Its strength was lacking. I resisted it quite easily. But
well,
you
of course
definitely
you would,
have
Nigel.
some talents, especially when it comes to toe licking.
What if,
Well, you know,
if he
that's
knows
just
how
old
to do
Hallelujah
those?
Jackson for you.
If you know how to do those, Mr. Jackson, why not give us a bunch of them? We could hand them out to enemies. You know, those sleeping papers.
Yeah, I suppose we could come to some sort of accord here. Maybe old Hallelujah Jackson, you know, as a token of our newfound friendship, I could make you, what do you say? I can make you one of those and you let me all go and give me back my pants and my shoes.
Well, that's going to be hard to persuade Mendax. I was thinking that you give us one of those and she won't kill you.
I think that sounds more along the lines of the agreement that I'm working on. I could perhaps be convinced to give you a shoe back if you give us 2 of those. The second shoe if you give us 4. But you're not getting your pants back. I think a sunburn on your little wizard's wand will be payment enough for your trickery.
If you can teach me how to do it, that I can recreate them myself. I'm not sure if it's something I'm capable of, but if he teaches me, then perhaps.
Even better, yes. If you teach Nigel, I will give you back your shoes, but not your pants.
Roll an intimidation check, Call, because you mentioned that Mendax may kill him.
Mendax is crazy.
That's an 18 coming from a Kenku.
Okay.
With a very large halberd.
That was recently sharpened, and it's glistening in the sunlight.
Yeah, let's see here. Let me take a look here. He is going to take he's going to take that threat really seriously. He'll go, well. I do see that we are not necessarily friends at all here, are we? Thinking of killing old poor Hallelujah Jackson, who just looking to make a decent living in this hard time. Indeed. Well, I do believe that my business with you all has concluded, and I do bid you adieu. And he'll kind of snap his fingers, and something in one of the pockets, or there's sort of a flash from inside of his jacket. You think that there may have been a maybe a hidden pocket in their Mendax that you didn't have time to check over everything from. And he will disappear.
This little shit.
That was impressive. Should we clap now? A good trick, very good trick.
The most entertaining street theater we've had in this trip.
You do still have his pants and shoes.
That is true. I'm going to check his pants for any hidden pockets now.
Sure, go ahead. Yeah, you can roll. Go ahead and roll a perception to try to search for any hidden pockets. Nigel, you do know that anything that involves sort of that kind of disappearance, he's truly not there. He's gone.
14.
He's gone somewhere. That takes a very, very potent magic to do that you've only ever seen your master do before. So that kind of sticks out to you that, maybe this guy was kind of fucking with us a little bit. You rolled a 14. You don't see any hidden pockets in his shoe or his pants.
Damn. Well, I'm keeping these just in case.
Sure. You can add linen pants and nice leather shoes to your equipment if you like.
I don't know if this is the last we've seen of Hallelujah Jackson.
Yes,
Hallelujah Jackson overturn.
I technically can't teleport, but it's not that impressive. I mean, my sleep spell worked on him.
I'm sure that you could if you really wanted to, Nigel.
Well, we didn't get to that part of my training, so
but if you did, I'm sure you would have excelled.
Yeah, of course. I did good at all the other parts of magic.
It was an excellent sleep spell.
Thank you.
Well, if you two are ready, since he's up and gone, then I could guide you past the bugs if you want to follow my movements.
I don't mind a bit of a dance to finish the 6th day of our journey. Why not?
I'm game. Let's go. Lead the way, Carl.
Don't step there. Step over here. Don't step there. Step over here. Step over there, then over here. Very good. You're gonna survive this passage. I just know it.
A couple of mountain goats are kind of just standing there watching you guys.
What do they sound like? I'm sorry, DM. What do the mountain goats sound like?
Kind of like that.
Thank you. It's very immersive.
In goat, they're kind of Shake my head, man.
And so ends day 6.
Yeah, actually, that would basically bring that day to a close. Go ahead and roll a d20 for the nighttime.
Oh, this was me still rolling, wasn't it? We got an 8.
Oh, sorry. An 8. Yeah, no, uneventful night. You guys are solid.
Sorry, that was a
perplexed by-
5. That was a 5, sorry.
Oh, okay, 5.
bad.
Well, that changes everything. No, you guys are fine. Your night is once again uneventful. You are perplexed by your encounter with this strange individual. Scam artist, to be sure, but interesting nonetheless. Call, give me a d20 roll for day 7.
A 10.
A 10. Okay, your day is fine. How about the night?
An 11.
An 11. Okay, during the beginning part of your night, you hear, again, off in the distance, but not as far away this time, but not quite right over your heads, there is once again that screeching noise, that howling. And it happens multiple times. And again, you're all 3 awoken. It is off. You can tell it is quite a bit away, but it's not as far away as it was the first time you heard it. But you hear it multiple times, which probably lasts for about half an hour or so, and then nothing again.
I am concerned and annoyed.
Yeah, sticking to no campfire for a while longer seems like a good idea.
Show-offs.
Lay low.
Agreed.
Okay.
Do I know, by the way, if dragons are nocturnal?
Dragons. So this is a bit of lore about the land you guys just haven't had a reason to encounter yet, but Nigel, you would know this. There are no dragons that exist in this land. They all died a long time ago.
Wyverns, then?
Wyverns, yes.
Are they
kind of like-
nocturnal?
Go ahead and give me a nature roll.
Nature roll. Alright. We got a 12 plus, what is it, 3, I think, for nature? Yeah, so 15.
I'm versed in nature.
You can give a nature roll as well. You can assist with Nigel's nature roll and kind of put your heads together.
Did you say wyverns? Because I just rolled a natural 20.
I did. I'm trying to remember if they were nocturnal, if that's what this
I know
ridiculous,
everything about wyverns.
loud,
I wrote the book.
gigantic flying beast is.
No. Any sort of kind of winged creature like that, it would not usually be nocturnal, no.
Okay.
You can't really put your finger on what this would be. This is something that's behaving out of the norm for what you understand, which is not everything about nature, keep in mind. So this could be something that makes sense. You just don't really have access or the knowledge base to really confirm it.
All right. We'll keep laying low. Yeah, low campfire and that.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. So again, the rest of the night rather is uneventful. You don't hear that screeching. You don't hear that howling or anything like that. And yeah, the next day happens. Mendax, go ahead, give me a d20 roll for the day.
19.
Day 8. 19. All right. You all, again, you're advancing, and you are now fully within the thick of this sort of Badlands kind of deserty area. The woods are far, far behind you. You're not able to really see them until you, unless you're sort of at the top of one of these large hills. You can sort of see it off in the distance. It's 3 days behind you now, and you can see the pass where you had your encounter with Alalia Jackson sits a good ways behind you as well. You do, however, give me a perception check. This isn't necessarily to detect this. This is just to see who notices it first.
I have a 9.
Okay.
A 10.
16.
16. Nigel, hot roller for the night.
Nigel, I've got great teeth and amazing eyes.
No, that was Alleluia Jackson. That was him. He's got beautiful green eyes. No. You pick up the faintest scent of kind of like an iron that hangs in the air.
Yeah, smell that? It smells metallic.
Oh, I farted. Excuse me.
Oh, the hell?
Metal
I
bird fart.
never read about Kenku having metallic farts. Odd.
I think you have too much iron in your diet, Carl.
It's the raw fish. The iron doesn't get cooked off.
Oh, that must be it. Mercury-laden fish.
As you guys continue to advance, Call, you start to pick up the scent of what Nigel was talking about.
That
and
wasn't me
Mendax,
farting, I think.
No, it was not. Crazy enough.
I've slept next to Carl at 6 or 7 nights of worth of campfires now. I'm quite used to the smell of his farts, and I can tell this is different.
Good lord. Oh no. Call the farter. He's a night farter.
Carl the flatulent.
Call the
Who the hell is that
I'm just
flatulent-ass bird?
I'm just
Carl
scaring
the
away
cake
predators
thief.
in the night.
It's defensive farting.
Yes. But this is an iron smell. This wasn't me.
This is an iron smell, and Mendax, you recognize it as you start to put 2 and 2 together. This is the scent of a lot of blood.
Oddly enough, I think I know what this smell is. And I'm not going to read anything into it being the woman that understands what a large flow of blood smells like.
Well,
But
you
I'm going
have
to
been a
say-
part of a massacre or two in your life.
I'm going to say, this smells a lot like blood.
Yeah. So it does. Do you think someone bled here? Or died?
Possibly both.
Oh.
The smell, if it were to be this pungent, it would be a lot of blood. This would be a very heavy flow of blood.
Oh, for God's sake.
Do you think that it's a lot of small things that bled, or one large thing that bled a little bit?
Look, it's not their fault. There's potentially a wide-set slaughter with a heavy flow of blood. Okay, guys?
Should we investigate?
I can't put anything cool into the game, man. Everything I put in gets just turned on me.
We do have a rather juvenile squad. Thank you for putting up with us.
No, I love you all.
No, juveniles don't get heavy flows.
Oh, Jesus.
One thing leads into another.
The gods look kindly upon us, I'm sure.
The gods are cruel to you all. You keep moving forward.
Wait, what? We want to investigate the heavy flow.
What you're doing, you're moving towards it.
Oh, okay, forward towards. Sorry.
Yes. And the sort of, I would call it sickly smell of gore now starts to accompany this, this metallic sort of, it's almost a taste more than a smell.
Oh, God.
Yeah, it's very unpleasant, and it fills your kind of nostrils, and it sort of is overwhelming your senses a bit. Yeah, something very bad happened, but you can't see anywhere in particular.
Oh, God. Okay, this is worse than the dead pigs in the caverns. Definitely worse than dead pigs in caverns.
Advancing still?
Yep.
Yes.
But cautiously, and I would like to remove my bow, please.
Rocky Badlands terrain still?
Yes, you guys are definitely still in a rocky Badlands terrain. You do notice that you're coming up to a sort of more of a plateau cliff area as you're starting to move down a bit into like a valley, as it would be. So there's going to be kind of like walls almost on both sides of you as you move down. But yeah, you guys keep advancing, and the smell is just getting worse and worse. It's not quite the same type of smell as those carcasses in the cave. In the cave, that smelled like rot. That smelled like disease. That smelled like, yeah, that sort of area. This just smells like fresh death, and all of the unpleasant smells that accompany that. And as you round the corner, you see what is causing such a smell. And I think that the map should be, or the little scene should be coming up now on the screen, at least for the viewers. Yeah, you see a sort of a piece of the road that is now just drenched in a sort of thick red and almost to the point where it's like black stain on the ground, but you can tell that that's just a ton of blood. And in that giant pool of blood, there is an upturned cart and smashed barrels and bags and boxes all over the place. But you don't see, immediately, you don't see any person.
Do you think Mr. Jackson did this?
I don't think it was Hallelujah Jackson, Carl, but I do think it has to have been a lot of people.
Are there no bodies? It's just blood?
From where you're standing, you don't see anything that looks like a body. It's just a bunch of crates, a bunch of boxes, some bags, just all kind of strewn about in this smashed up like caravan cart.
We'd better investigate. It looks like it happened recently.
There could be gold in those in that cart and in those crates, and quite frankly, I'm a bit light on finances at the moment, having to pay for a sunken boat that we don't need to talk about further.
Oh, really? But I really like talking about that boat that you had to pay a bunch of money for.
Because of racism.
Oh boy, leave it to the tiefling just to blame everything on racism. Yes, you guys can approach the caravan, Mendax with bow drawn. You guys cautiously approach. Go ahead and each one of you roll a Constitution save.
Oh, fuck balls. Okay.
19.
20.
12.
Wait, actually, did I roll a 20? Let me double check that. Yes, that's a 20. I can't believe how well I'm rolling today.
Yeah, you're rolling hot fire.
Just wait until we start fighting, and that's where all my ones will come out.
No, it always goes, man. Wait till you start fighting. Yeah, Call and Nigel, it's not a pleasant experience, but you're able to maintain your composure as you set foot onto the kind of wet and sticky sand that is just, as you step into this red, sort of, you can almost think of it like how the waves would be at a beach. That's kind of the consistency of the sand as your foot sinks into it, and a bit of blood starts to almost trickle and fill that depression that you've made. You're able to keep your composure. You don't lose it. Mendax, you have a harder time. You by no means are throwing up or anything like that, but you are having a hard time stifling and keeping your head in the game. So it's you're unhappy. Let's put it very simply that way.
I don't like this at all. I don't like it.
Yes, and who would have approached this this massacre, this scene of blood and all sorts of nastiness first?
Probably me.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. So, Call, as you approach, you can see on the side of the map that you're sort of overlooking like a depression in the ground, kind of like a sheer cliff face. It's not, I don't want to say cliff because it's not really far down. It's about maybe, I don't know, 8 feet or so. But as you start to approach the side, you can see over the edge, and you now hear the buzzing of flies. And as you look down there, you can see that there's about 6 bodies, all kind of torn up. Their arms and legs aren't necessarily attached, and it's almost like a pile that's on the side. There's also a horse that's been kind of gutted and is just laying kind of off to the side down there as well.
Oh dear. Someone had a patch of bad luck on this passageway and has been totally killed and thrown off the side. I believe this is their blood.
By your quick count, it's probably, well, again, it's hard identifying all the bodies because they're not all intact, but it looks to be anywhere from 8 to 10 people.
Oof.
And a horse.
And
I'll peek over as well and inspect the bodies. Does it look like they've been eaten or just kind of torn up in a bloodlust?
Would you know what the difference is? There aren't chunks taken out of them. It just looks like some of their limbs have been like ripped off. It doesn't look like they've been eaten from what you can tell, which again, not necessarily, you don't necessarily know exactly what that would look like, but it looks like something just ripped these things up.
Something with that much of a bloodlust maybe wasn't as interested in their goods. Let's make a quick search and get the hell out of here.
Very good.
Agreed.
I'll start looking through the barrels.
All right, Mendax.
Nigel, Carl, you look through the barrels, you look through the crates. We'll split some things, but I'm going to keep my bow out and I'm going to keep an eye on our 6 just to make sure.
If I were to jump down and inspect the bodies more closely, would I be able to jump back up?
It's about 8 feet down. With someone's help, you could probably, well, yeah, you could. You feel confident you could eventually get up. You might not be able to just like jump up and grab the top and pull yourself up, but I mean, there are other people there. Assuming they can throw a rope down to you or something like that, you feel pretty confident that you can get back up pretty all right.
Good friends, could you help me back up if I went down and took a look at the nasty?
Yeah, just tie your rope to this cart and leave it lying there so you can pull yourself up if you need to in a hurry.
Very good. I will do so.
Okay, yeah, Call, you move over to the caravan, which is flipped up on its side. I want to reiterate again. This is a pretty big sort of cart, and it would take a decent amount of strength to do that. As you go to tie a rope on it, you see, so it's flipped up, and I'm trying to do my best to explain this to you here. It would be like almost like a box. As it sits normally, there'd be like a box where you could store stuff inside of it, and it's enclosed. So half of that has sort of been broken out or open, and there's like a depression as it sits on the ground on its side. You see a bit of movement from inside that cart.
I turned my bow on that cart.
You don't see it, Mendax. It's only cart.
I don't turn my bow on that cart.
Mendax, there's something moving in this cart. You might train your bow on this cart.
I turn my bow on this cart.
Okay, good.
I would like to investigate this rustling and rummaging.
I'll come over as well, one drawn.
Okay, sounds good. What are you going to do to investigate, Call? How are you trying to do that?
I would like to make sure there aren't any baby Yodas inside.
And if we do, we shoot them because they're a stupid cash grab.
I would like to announce, in case there's a living person inside, hello, are you stuck in there? We're just travelers wondering if anyone has survived.
You'll hear sort of like teeth chattering in there, and kind of like.
No, I don't speak that language. I speak Kenku, and I speak Common, and one other one I can't remember. Do you want to come out now? We mean you no harm, unless you mean us harm, and then we'll kill you.
God, you guys are so mean. Let's see.
Don't worry about the frightening bird. He's a big bird, but he's very friendly.
Sometimes my
It's-
jokes are a bit harsh. I was joking.
We're not going to kill you. We might take your pants and or shoes, but we won't kill you. It's fine. Come on out.
I recognize how this was a joke made in poor taste at a bad time.
Yeah. He'll the whatever is inside will speak back to you.
It's gone? Is it still out there?
We don't know what it is, but it seems to have left. Do you know what it was that did this?
When you say that it's left and you don't know what it is, this person will come and kind of shift over some barrels and kind of crawl out from all the upturned wreckage that's in there. And you do see a pair of pointy ears. And Mendax, they are green, but they're not as cute as Baby Yoda would have been. This thing that comes out of there is a goblin. And his skin is sort of this really light green, almost like the color of what your vomit would be after you eat pea soup. And he's got these yellow patches that are kind of all over his body, these spots. And his skin it's almost like it's coated in like almost like a layer of grease and oil. His hair, I mean, what hair he has, there's about 3 good strands that he has expertly combed over to the side. But for the most part, his bald head just reflects the sun and it almost kind of shines in your eyes for a moment. His eyes are like these little small dots of black that are in this sea of like a mucus yellow. And he comes out and is sort of just shivering and looking around.
It is gone?
And that's what he'll say again. And he'll look around. You can tell he's absolutely fucking terrified.
Yes, it is gone. We are here now, and we would like to talk to you.
Talking? What do you want to know?
Can we give you a snack or a glass of water or something to calm you down?
I'll offer him my water skin.
Yeah, he'll take your water skin and he'll kind of just like hold it in the air above him, and try to squeeze out basically all the water that's left in there. It looks like he probably hasn't had anything to drink in a long while. When he opens his mouth, you can see these tiny little dagger-like teeth. They're all kind of a shade of brown and yellow.
Thank you, yes.
And he'll sit down against the caravan with like a squish as the blood-caked sand kind of starts to seep into his clothes. He is actually wearing pretty nice clothes. You can see that it is actually a pretty fine silk shirt that he wears. And he has like a sort of a really finely tailored pair of pants on. He doesn't have any shoes on, though.
Damn it.
What's your name? What is your name, Sir Goblin?
My name is Krasburuk Brands no Razbak.
What is your nickname?
God bless you.
To the humans, where my name is too long, they call me Kraz. I am a merchant, a seller of fine cloth and silk. And a fucking bird killed my caravan.
A bird? What kind of bird?
Some winged creature. I don't know. I sell cloth. I don't know birds.
Was it larger or smaller than me?
Big. Much bigger.
Did it come in the night or the daytime?
Day. Just.
And he'll look up at the sun and he'll kind of like count with his fingers, and he'll kind of like look and try to gauge how long he's been hiding out.
6 hours ago! All of my bodyguards dead! My horse dead! And more importantly, my caravan and my goods!
Kraz, was there any warning? Was there any warning before this bird thing attacked?
Warning?
Was there
What
a
the fuck
sound?
kind of a warning do birds give?
Usually
there a
it would be
sound?
something like caw or caw.
Carl,
Are you?
can you play the sound of that rumbling creature that's been flying overhead?
Oh, yes, of course I can.
You said it's in your sound cloud, right?
Did it sound like that? Kraz.
Before you really even say anything, Mendax, he'll go,
Oh, it's back! Run, quick! Make for the hills!
and he'll run back into the caravan.
Calm
Okay.
yourself, Kraz. Carl here is a Kenku. He can imitate noises. We've heard that creature fly over sort of on several nights while we camped. You can come back out.
I practiced that for 45 whole minutes.
Instantly, just the master of making that sound again. He'll kind of, he won't come out all the way, but he'll put his fingers on the outside of the caravan and look around and look up into the sky. You can see his nails are long and yellow and pointed, and boy is this guy gross. And he'll make again those really kind of quick and jolting movements as again you've fucking freaked him out.
All right, Kraz. I think you're in luck. All your bodyguards were killed. Many of your valuable possessions have been ruined. But luckily, 3 very, very well-respected bodyguards have found you and are happy to escort you to Tol Karabad, a place where you can no doubt begin to rebuild your business, if only you help us find the most valuable things we can salvage and get the hell out of here before that bird comes back.
Tol Karabad? No, I didn't come from there. I was there a week ago. I came from Indrith. I tell you what, though.
And he'll sort of again scamper out from underneath the caravan.
If you can help me take my goods back to Indrith, I will pay you handsomely.
What's
he'll,
your
like, rub
definition
his-
of handsomely?
And he'll kind of quickly look at each of you as if trying to very quickly determine how much you think a lot of money is.
What is your life and business worth to you, Kraz?
You'll say his life.
Well, because otherwise he's going to sit here and probably get eaten by the large bird creature. I'm not threatening him. I'm just saying he could either sit here by himself.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, no,
You
not
guys
trying to
intimidate a lot of people by killing
No.
them. So I don't know. I have to check.
Kraz has not tried to be shady or not offer us a discount yet. I have no reason to steal his shoes, pants, or intimidate him or threaten his life.
Swords are still sheathed. You're not waving pointy things in his face.
I have a bow out, but it's not trained on Kraz any longer. It's around the sky as I'm looking at him over my shoulder talking.
Okay, sounds good. He'll say
5 gold for a box that you can carry back to Indrith.
How far is Indrith? What?
A day that way.
and he'll point in the direction that you guys are heading in.
5 gold per box. How can we manage our weapons and carry gold boxes? Also, what's in these boxes? I have a feeling that the items within the boxes are probably worth more than 5 gold.
Well, of
Far
course
more
they
than
are.
5 gold.
I'm a
Far
merchant.
more.
I'm supposed to make more money than I pay people, and I've already lost out on the other bodyguards, and I was only paying them 5 gold for this per day for taking me to Lakewood.
To be fair, Kraz, you do get what you pay for. And if you were paying over 6 bodyguards, only 5 gold. I'm not surprised that they died to a large bird creature.
Mindex,
Five-
this might work out in
5
our
gold
favor.
actually, 5 gold's a pretty decent amount of money.
I
for
can
a
probably carry a
city.
lot of boxes. We should probably take this.
Oh, I will bow to the rest to
Eight-
what the group wants.
8 gold per box. We'll carry 3 boxes, 1 each.
Or no, Cal could probably carry 2.
Do you guys want some time to discuss what you want to do, or are you still trying to negotiate with?
8 gold.
out of
8 gold per
character.
box. I'm just kind of taking over the negotiations. We can walk away from this. You can't.
6,
7, and it's a deal.
7.
And he'll spit in his hand and hand it out for you to shake.
You already let him put his lips on your water skin.
Oh. Didn't he hold it above
Oh
his
wait,
mouth?
yeah,
Did
okay,
he-
maybe you're right. Okay,
I'm
yeah.
hoping he was kind of like a Korean pro gamer, like awkward fondling of the.
I was picturing his little nasty tongue flicking out and put a slobbering on
Hey,
it.
whatever does it for you, man.
Okay, I'll shake very quickly and tentatively before pulling my hand away and wiping it vigorously.
Yeah, when you pull your hand away, it's almost like melted cheese that's connecting you two as it kind of like strings along, and
Oh.
you want to wipe it on your pants, or do you want to wipe it somewhere else?
Wipe it on
Oh
Mr.
my-
Jackson's
No,
pants.
Nigel. Use this old pair of pants that I've stolen from
Thank
that
you,
we
Mendex.
sequestered
Ah.
from Alleluia Jackson. Don't put
Jesus
them on your own
Christ.
clothes.
7 gold per box. At least 3 each. No,
Wait, did you say 3 each or 1 each?
We didn't make that agreement.
How big are these
officially.
boxes? We didn't
we
clarify
think-
that.
We'll carry as many as we can carry. We'll see what we can do, but probably 1 each. I would imagine. It depends how heavy they are.
Okay.
Okay, but can we also search the boxes that we cannot carry
no.
to take? Well, why not? You're not going to use them.
I'm going to hide them.
You're going to dig a hole in the bloody ground right now and hide them. Sure, we'll wait.
We'll say there are 10 salvageable boxes total. So how do you guys want to try to carry them? And then we'll deal with what happens to the remainder afterwards.
Okay.
Um,
Is it a strength modifier? How do we decide this?
The boxes, let's see, the crates themselves take about, let's see, actually, they weigh probably about 30 pounds each. And each of them, you can open them and take a look at like what's inside. It's various like linens and silks. Since he's paying you statically for each box, he'll like point out like these boxes first and then go with these and then go with these, kind of in the order of probably what's the most important cloths for him to recover from this. And yeah, but they each weigh probably about 20 to 30 pounds each, and they take like both of your hands to carry. They're not very like wieldy. They're not meant to like be one-handed or anything like that. You might be able to stack 3, and that's probably about all you could balance. Call his strength. Let's see here.
16.
16. You could probably manage 3 without issue. It's less of a problem of weight in so much as it starts to get very high, and it's a little bit difficult to like balance at that point. Mendax, you may be able to get 3. It might be a little bit harder for you. Your strength, actually, no, you
Mine's
can't.
11,
do 3.
yeah.
You could probably do 2. That's about how many Nigel could do as well.
Not to be an arsehole, but
Mhm.
is there any potential of righting the cart? And are the wheels broken? Can we right the cart and then stack lots of boxes on it and then pull the cart along with us?
Yeah, that's honestly not a bad idea. You go to inspect the cart, and carts are pretty dang simple how they work. You can see that the axle that holds the front and the back wheel is basically splintered in half. So it's not going to turn.
Does anyone have a spare cart axle?
No, we didn't bring any wood with us. I have a hammer. I have lots of rope.
I have a hammer. I can fix this.
I can fix anything.
Well, we could just muscle it and take him to town. Seems like this is on our way anyway.
Yeah, we'll just muscle it.
3 for me,
Carl.
2 for each of you.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. Before we dish them out, though, I think we're in a position where we should make sure we find any valuables on those guards and return them to their families if we happen to come across them. And if we don't, I guess we'll have to put them into good use, the way the family, the people would have wanted them. There's no use everything rotting out here.
So,
Absolutely.
jumping off
there a
then and inspecting.
Yeah. While they inspect, is there a possibility that I can use one of the boxes we're not carrying? Use the pallets of wood from that, combined with some of the rope that I still have, to bind it around the axle to make the wagon usable.
I thought you were going to say make a trebuchet and then throw the crates over to town.
To build a gallows and hang the goblin and then take everything. No, I'm kidding. Obviously. I would just stab him.
My poor goblin. Being that you are not by any means a craftsman.
I built theatrical sets for many years. I'm just putting that out there. We were responsible for building our own sets.
Sure, that were supposed to look like they work, but not actually work.
Sometimes people did have to fly,
The paper mache Mount Pompeii you made in the background is not exactly the same as rebuilding a car.
You know what? I just you have no respect for the arts. None of you uncultured swine, but that's fine.
I appreciate the attempt at ingenuity, but I'm afraid that while you could try, and if you desperately want to give this a shot, I will let you. You, even before setting out, think that this is just doomed to fail.
Oh, well, I'm still going to try.
Okay, it'll probably take you like a full day.
Oh, fuck that then. Never mind. I don't have that time.
Okay.
I love that turnaround. That's good.
Never mind.
All right, well, shall I check through the bodies of the people off the cliff?
I'll tie the rope to the cart for you and lower it down while you climb down.
I'll go down with him.
Cool.
Okay, yeah. So you two are going down there, and you check the bodies out. Yeah, you can tell that these have very, very severe slash marks in their backs or their stomachs, where their limbs were kind of ripped off. You can see that it wasn't like a slash; it was like a tear, almost like they were exactly that, ripped off. You can see that several of them have really, really severe bruising. That looks like, again, you probably wouldn't necessarily know this, but it looks like it happened before they died. And a lot of them have like caved in skulls, or their bones are just completely shattered. It's very gruesome. It's very gross. And this unsettles you quite a bit, that one giant bird thingy could apparently do this to people. Let alone the horse that's been just like sliced open and disemboweled. So yeah, you want to root around their pockets?
Yes, I would like to do that.
Very much so.
Okay, so you find 2 gold on each of them, which is a total of... You'll find a total of 16 gold. You determine that it is only 8 people in total, and the horse has nothing. Besides that, you find some very basic weaponry. You can see that a few of them had a little bit higher class armor, but nothing really that compares to what you guys have. They were all basically hired mercenary hands. They don't look like they've seen many battles. But even in a situation like this, you don't actually know how you guys would fare if put against something that can do this kind of damage.
No jewelry or anything?
No jewelry, nothing like that, nothing fancy. Jewelry is for rich folk.
I would like
These people are not.
to gingerly pet the corpse of the horse and tell it how it was a very good boy.
Sure, roll a d20.
What the shit? If I touch this horse and it caves in, I'm going to be so pissed. 13.
Okay, yeah, no, you can pet the dead horse and nothing happens.
I was really looking forward to rabies, Mendax, personally.
Because Mendax seems to be more aggressive.
Yeah, no, you have a solemn moment where you
I like this horse.
You're
were a
touched
good
by
boy,
the death of a
little horse.
another living animal.
I would like to nod and share a few moments of silence for the fallen.
Oh, I don't care about the people. I'm going to go
Apparently
back
not.
to now.
Moment of silence ruined. So that's what you find. I mean, unless you really want to start digging around the sort of mounds of bodies and limbs. You're able to quickly find about 16 gold.
Very good. I've added it to my inventory. And I can distribute it to my fellows.
Sure. Yeah, however you want to do that.
Perfect. All right, I climb back up the rope.
Okay. Yeah, so you're back up there. We'll say that you finish inspecting the bodies of the dead. You kind of have a little bit more information now, and you're a little bit, you have a little bit heavier pockets. So how do you want to tackle transporting these boxes?
I'll give 2 boxes a go. You said they're about 20 pounds each?
They're about 20 pounds each. So this is about a 40-pound load for you to carry. Go ahead. You're going to have to make a strength check, Nigel.
All right. That is a 7 + 1, 8.
You struggle. You'll be able to go about half your speed if this is how much you have to carry now.
I'll just carry 1.
Okay. How about you, Mendax?
I would like to take 2. I would like to use some of my rope that I'm not using to try to repair the axle and tie it around the box and put one around my shoulders in the rope and then carry another box in my hands.
Okay, so you craft like a makeshift backpack of sorts.
Exactly. Women
Okay, sure.
love their satchels and purses, so.
Yeah. Then you're able to do that. You don't have to roll a strength check. It kind of balances you out.
Perfect.
Nigel, you see Mendax do that. Do you want to do that too?
My lats are still sore from rowing. I'm not exactly built for carrying so much. I'll just carry 1 box.
Sure. So Nigel's getting 1 box. Mendax got 2. Call, how are you approaching this?
Well, not to be outdone, of course, I'm gonna use 3. Well, I'll hold 2 in the front, and then I'll use this amazing backpack technique that Mendax has shown us how to do.
Okay. Sure. Go ahead and roll a strength check. Let's see how you're doing here.
21.
Yeah, you're a beast in this. So you're having 0 issue. It's heavy, but it's nothing that your muscular Kenku frame can't handle.
Oh, yes.
The most roided up, juiced up Kenku ever. Hollow bones and gigantic pecs.
Yeah.
Stronger than you think. Quick on my feet. Call the Kenku. Carrying the boxes.
Excellent. The goblin will look you guys over and will go, this is what you can carry, yes?
That's it.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Kraz. Can you carry more?
No. And he'll nod his head. He's not like saying that wasn't an insult. He was just asking if that's how much you can carry.
I thought he was trying to be a petty little bitch.
No.
Okay.
He wasn't. He was just trying to confirm that's how much you guys got. To all the other boxes that that you're not carrying, he'll pop them open. So that's 3, 5, 6. So the 4 remaining boxes, he'll kind of take a crowbar and snap all the lids open, and then he'll pour all the contents onto the bodies that are down in the crevice, and sort of cover them with this like fine silk and nice cloth. And he'll nod his head.
It'll wash out. It's fine.
And then he'll wave his hand and start going down the road.
Let's go. Come on. We gotta get out of here quick.
Bizarre way of hiding your goods, but fair enough. Let's go.
All right. Yeah, I guess I'll follow behind him first, since I can see over top of my box fairly easily. So.
Yep, absolutely. The goblin will want to stand next to Call. So wherever Call is, the goblin will stand next to him. Kraz will stand next to him. And Nigel, where are you going to stand in the formation?
Where I always do, wedged in between those who can fight and take wounds better than me.
Okay, sounds good. And I think that's probably the perfect spot to end today's session. You guys are on the pathway to Tol Karabad, but are taking a slight detour to help out the goblin merchant
Krasbaruk Brams Norazbak.
Get back to Intrith with his goods that have been so dastardly thrown about and destroyed.
Did you say Krasburus Bamnurasbach?
Krasbaruk Brams Norazbak.
Close enough. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us on this amazing journey. We will be taking next week off, as it is I Am Katowice, correct? We did back-to-back this week and the previous week. It'll be StarCraft next week. People are traveling, going around the world and all this. Look for us, Episode 5 Wayfarers, week after next. We appreciate your viewership and your participation. Good job, team. Until next time.